Hello there, everybody. I'm Johnny Dady, along with Mike Zambelli and Dan Mowdy, all set to bring you the PIAA Class AA Championship Eastern Championship game from Albright College in Reading. A gorgeous day for football, a temperature in the low 50s, a slight breeze blowing. Whether it'll have any effect on the ball game or not, we don't know, and we'll just have to wait and see. My guest is Bob Stem, the head coach of the Golden Hawks from Bethlehem Catholic High School, in his 6th year as head coach of the team that went undefeated, the only team in East Penn Conference play. Besides that, other laurels, Bethlehem City Championship, District 11 title, and today, the Eastern Regional title ball game on the line. Coach, congratulations on a great year, and only the 3rd undefeated team in Bethlehem Catholic football history since they started the sport back in 1965.
Well, thank you, John. We're honored. The kids have played well, and they deserved everything they've got. And, we played hard for what we received this year. All right.
Now, you had an opportunity to scout this West York area high school football team. They are representatives from District 3. They were 11-1. They are 11-1 on the season. They were 9-1 in their conference play, losing only to Hanover, 21-0. And believe it or not, Hanover was one of 2 A teams that they played all year, and that's the team that beat them. How about sizing up West York for us?
Yeah, I think they have an outstanding offense, and they got a great defense. If you look at their stats, I think only twice did they give up more than 1 touchdown any game. One of them was 21 points. I think the rest of the season, the other 10 games, they gave up 1 touchdown per game. So, they're an outstanding defensive team, plus the fact they're a good offensive team. Stoner's outstanding. He's just a great runner, and we're going to have to put 11 helmets on him to stop him. You can't assume someone else is going to get him. Not today, because he's just an outstanding runner, and the quarterback does a great job for him. He scrambles all over the place. He's got 2 great receivers that come back to the ball. So, we're looking for a really great game.
We're looking for a high-octane offense this afternoon. Both teams can go. They have excellent runners, good quarterbacks. The only thing I noticed in the West York team, the quarterback does not move into play action a lot. Usually drops back and throws, but he has a backfield man. Steve Brillhart goes out of the backfield for the long pass, along with Matt Glennon, his big receiver, number 85.
Yes, no, they're good people. They really are. The quarterback's outstanding. And some of the other films that I saw on them, they did run some play-action passes. So they do run a play-action pass where they'll come off their off-tackle power and stuff and go a little opposite on you, where they'll try to hit the fullback in the flat, similar to some plays that we run. So they do run all those things that we run. So you can look forward to all types of plays. I'm sure they run whatever they feel is going to be effective against the defense.
All right, offensively, you both match up pretty well. Defensively, there is a difference.
Yeah, we run a base 52, and we give you some other fronts. We'll shift down on you, give a little 6 look once in a while, a little 53 look. They basically are a 4-4 or split 6 look.
And now the curve of the day. Tell me, what is this Bermuda Triangle?
The Bermuda Triangle is a little triangle in the middle of defense, formed by the nose guard and the 2 inside linebackers, who've just been outstanding. Between them, I think they got about 240 tackles on the season, with something like 14 or 15 turnovers, just those 3 guys. So, they've done an outstanding job. We like to believe once you go in there, you don't come out.
I was just going to say that. Once you're in a trap, you don't get out of the Bermuda Triangle, right? All right. You can do anything differently today?
No, we prepared for this team the same way we did all season long. We're not going to change nothing. We go with what we know works.
If you have one advantage, I would have to say would be on paper because of the competition you play all year. You play 11 Quad A teams. They play 3 Quad A teams. Their schedule is primarily balanced. But offensively, they're a high-powered offense. Defensively, you match up just about the same against opponents.
Yeah, the thing of it, Johnny, I think all those things about different opponents and what type of opponent you play really doesn't mean a whole lot in a one game. One game, just like Bangor last year, did an outstanding job. Again, there was no doubt we maybe played better opponents, but the thing of it is one game still told the story, and we're going to have to be ready to play one more game. That's it, and this is it.
All right, I have some friends in Altoona. I want to see them next week. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Johnny.
Bob Stem, the head coach over at Bethlehem Catholic High School for 6 years, and now my sidekick for today, Mike Zambelli. Mike, all the years that I've been covering these football games on a scholastic and collegiate level, I don't think I've ever seen 2 teams that was evenly matched in statistics as these 2 ball clubs.
Yes, they really are, John, and I heard you would talk about them with Coach Stem, and offensively they run basically the same offense. They've scored the same amount of points, and both teams really pride themselves on their defense, and really that's where they win their ball games.
All right, as far as offensively now, this is amazing, and I have to read this, and I'm sure if you watch the Daily News Report from 6:30 to 7, and you watch Dan Mowdy have a comparison sheet. Bethlehem Catholic has been averaging 28.2 points a ball game. West York has been averaging 23 points a ball game. Defensively, Bethlehem Catholic has given up 7.1. Defensively, West York, the Bulldogs, have given up 7.4. How close can you get? I'll be back with Mike Zambelli and Dan Mowdy in just a moment.
Tom DeSanto and Gail Rico. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pride to introduce to you the...
All right, Mike, now I talked to Bob Stem about the difference on paper with the teams that they played. About Bethlehem Catholic playing 11 Quad A teams. On the other hand, West York has played 3 Quad A teams, 3 3A. They have 4 2A, 2 of the 4, however, in the playoffs, and they have 2 A teams. Does that mean anything?
I really don't think so, and I think the big thing maybe in the course of a year, if you play all 4A schools, maybe you get worn down a little bit. I had an opportunity to talk with both coaches. Both teams are healthy, so I don't think the level of competition really means that much here this afternoon. All
right, and also in a Quad A, you could get the lower-ranked teams, not the lower-ranked teams, but the lower teams with the records, and they would be comparable to 3A and probably 2A in some instances. No question. You look at our district games that we've been having in District 11 and look at what has happened to highly powered Easton both years in the 4A game. There's a quality football team that has not won a district title yet, and Coach Stem mentioned what happened to his Golden Hawks last year to Bangor. So when you tee it up on a given day, there's 11 people playing on each side, and I think it balances out. Okay, we'll have more highlights and sidelights up in the booth, but now let's go over to Dan Mowdy. Dan, Super 2 Sports Director, will be working the sidelines today and also have some interviews at halftime. Dan, from what you hear, what you've seen here today, how do you size it up?
John, I really have to call this one a toss-up. The offenses look so much alike, as you mentioned, both on paper and on the field. I think it's going to be one in the trenches and in the defensive end of the game.
I know you're neutral.
Well, I'm trying to be, but it's easy to be because, like I mentioned, they are so evenly matched. The backfields will look almost identical. They have a Tony Iasello named Russ Stoner who can run the ball just as well as Iasello can and also kicks those extra points and field goals like Iasello.
All right, you were over at Bethlehem Catholic High School getting some highlights. What was that all about?
Well, we got to talk to Coach Stem, and he brought out those statistical categories that are so much alike. He says as well that the game will be won on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, now what do you have lined up for the viewers today in our pregame show?
Well, John, we mentioned again the similarities between these two teams. On paper, you mentioned. How about on the field? We got to look at West York from last week's game against the Lone Catholic for the District 3 championship. We're going to take a look at both teams now, starting out with Becca High going back 1 year ago. The Golden Hawks of Bethlehem Catholic didn't win any titles last year, but they came awfully close. The top-ranked AA team in District 11 went 9-3, the second-best record in the East Penn Conference. Becca High was a shoo-in for the District AA title, but lost to Bangor 28-7 on a cold and blustery night in November, the wind chill factor near 0. This year, the Hawks reloaded. Senior John Mattis stepped into the Signal College role, adding a strong arm and great running ability to the quarterback slot. Mattis has scored 12 touchdowns, running it in himself.
Tight ropes the right sideline, breaks that tackle, and he could go. He's at 25 to 20. Downtown Mattis.
Senior Tony Iasello is the man who really gets Bethlehem Catholic on the scoreboard. When he's not scoring touchdowns, he's kicking field goals. When he is scoring touchdowns, he's also kicking the extra point or scoring two-point conversions. Iasello has 16 touchdowns and a grand total of 131 points this season. Next to Iasello in the backfield, a sophomore, Eric Marsh, who plays like a senior. He's the Clydesdale of the offense, setting up Iasello with key blocks if he isn't running the ball himself. Marsh has the ability to break the opponent's will with his explosive punt returning skills as well. Bethlehem Catholic started the season in a big way. They outscored Liberty and Whitehall by a total of 76-19. Game 3 was a nightmare. Becca High edging Allen by a scant extra point, 7-6. The Hawks bounced back with a 30-0 romp over Freedom, then locked horns with Easton in the East Penn Conference Battle of the Undefeated. In that game, Easton struck first, leading 7-0 at the half in a grind-em-out kind of game. Becca High tied it up in the second half and took the lead on a Tony Iasello field goal. Final score, 10-7. The 5-0 Hawks next pounced on Phillipsburg and Emmaus, using some big plays to outscore their opponents 74-7. In Game 8, Becca topped Northampton and was rewarded with the top ranking in the state AA football poll. Week number 9, the team was staggered by Parkland. The visiting Trojans led 9-7 at the half, holding the Hawks to just 1 first down and 5 yards total offense. But Becca bounced back here in the second half. Iasello's sack and Marsh's 90-yard punt return spelled defeat for Parkland 21-16. With that scare behind them, the Golden Hawks knew they had a legitimate shot at East Penn Conference history. The goal was to become the first team ever to finish 11-0 in the East Penn Conference. STEM squad went on to squash Deereth and Central Catholic 72-14 total. Becca High finished 11-0, clinching sole ownership of the conference crown. 1 week later, the Hawks had their second title, a 35-14 win over Mount Carmel for the District 11 championship. Today, the Golden Hawks could be looking at a mirror image of themselves. West York is a big team up front, stingy on defense, and everyone in the backfield can and will run the football. The Bulldogs aren't afraid to mix it up with an occasional long bomb, and like Becca, they beat up on bigger AAA and Quad A teams regularly. Here they are last week facing the lone Catholic for the District 3 title. Senior tailback Russ Stoner can really open it up, tying a string to the ball and sprinting 90 yards plus for the touchdown. Stoner is an all-York County player who also kicks extra points and field goals and leads the league in scoring with 130 points, including 15 touchdowns. In the air, big senior tight end Matt Glennon is a favorite target of senior quarterback Marcus Schweitzer. Glennon is 6'1", 200 pounds. Schweitzer only 5'7", 140, but he plays like a big man. Senior halfback Steve Brillhart is a multiple threat in the backfield, averaging 7.5 yards per carry. He also has super ability as a clutch receiver, as you see here. Nice grab. But West York's main man is Stoner, a gamey all-purpose back that's both quick and deceptive. Just like Bethlehem Catholic, the Bulldogs have several set running plays featuring the quarterback. Schweitzer may be small, but he's lightning fast, as you can see here. He can break a tackle, and he can take a hit. Coach Terry Bupp's Bulldogs dominated the Lone 33-14. His team entering today's big game at 11-1. Bob Stem's Golden Hawks come in at a perfect 12-0. Tighten down those chin straps and fire up the pep bands. This has all the makings of a high-caliber, high-scoring slugfest that might just go down to the wire. Down on the sidelines, you get a good look at the Becca High team and their helmets. And on their helmets, they have 2 words. One is Abe, and the other one is Unity. Now, actually, those 2 stickers come from previous contests. The Abe is for the Morning Calls Abe, the guy who does the predictions. Apparently, Abe had picked Central Catholic over Becca High. Becca High went on to blast Central Catholic, and then, of course, Abe earned the title on the helmet. The other word is Unity, and that has to sum up the entire season for Becca High. They have been doing it all together all along. They claim there are no superstars on this team, that they all work well together, and I think their performance proves just that. Right now, let's go back up to the booth and find out what's going on later on today.
Okay, the Bethlehem High School band just did their pregame performance. They were under the direction of Mike McCauley, Barbara Jo Gorman, Wendy Christine, and Harry Christine. The Golden Hawk Marching Band will prepare to do the national anthem very shortly. So we'll turn you right over in the pregame show to John Dady.
All right, Bill Bickle, thank you very much, and we'll have the national anthem for you, and of course the kickoff here on this beautiful day. Now the officials for today's ball game, Mike, you have a list of them, but before we get into that, the Big 33 checklist. Last week, Bob Carpenter, Bethlehem Catholic, a 6'1", 200-pound outside linebacker. He was a key blocker in Bethlehem Catholic's 35-14 District 11 Class AA win over Mount Carmel. Carpenter executed 2 key traps with sprang runners for 77 to 19-yard touchdowns. Tony Iasello, also Bethlehem Catholic, a 5'11", 180-pound fullback, total 16 carries, 163 yards and 4 touchdowns, and kicked 3 extra points while making 2 defensive sacks in his high school win. Now, on the other side of the field, Russ Stoner was named the York Dispatch Division II Player of the Year. Mark Knobb, Marcus Schweitzer, Matt Glennon, Doug Lynch, and Steve Brillhart were all named to the all-county team. These kids, particularly the seniors, have played together since their midget football days, and they won a junior high championship together. And I don't believe that anybody really gave them a chance to win the districts this year. But they ended up beating two teams that had beaten the only team that they had lost to. Mike, the officials for today.
Okay, John, the officials today are from District 2. The referee will be Bob Spagna, the umpire Alex Colombia, the linesman Nick Bollick, the line judge Jim Mello, the back judge is Jim Blanc, and the field judge will be Jim Fisher.
All right, the first ever PIAA District Championship games in Quad A action today. In the east here, Neshaminy, then from District 1, the number 2 team in District 1 is meeting Cedar Cliff from District 3, the number 1 seeded team in District 3. They were a 22-12 winner over Lancaster to get that shot, and that ball game is being played at J. Bernie Crum Stadium. In the Quad A West at South Stadium in Pittsburgh, Brashear from District 8, the number 9 seed, is meeting Pittsburgh Central Catholic from District 7. They are seeded number 8. Over at the Bethlehem School District Stadium, Triple A action. From the east, Berwick from District 2 and the number 2 seed, a 42-14 winner over Pottsville, is meeting Middletown from District 3. They are seeded number 3. And out west in Class 3A action, Bradford area from District 9, 7 seeded, is meeting Aliquippa from District 7. Aliquippa seeded 1 by virtue of their 36-7 win over Blackhawk from seeded 6. In AA action, of course, we have that ball game here at Eugene Shirk Stadium at Albright College. And out west, we have Bellwood Antis, seeded number 2 from District 6, meeting Wilmington, the 3rd seed from District 7. They were a 10-7 winner over Farrell. And in the A games today, here in the east, St. Pius from District 1, seeded 3, is meeting Camp Hill from District 3, a 32-6 winner over Columbia. And out west, East Brady from District 9, seeded 4th, is meeting Cambridge Springs from District 10. They are seeded number 2. So history is being made today, Mike.
Yes, it really is, as this is the first ever state playoffs going on right now, and we'll see how the teams react to it. It's kind of a bonus week for all of these, for these young men and the coaches, and in a couple minutes we'll see how they do react to it.
Okay, we'll be back for the national anthem and a kickoff in just a moment. All right, let's take a look at the football program at Bethlehem Catholic High School. Back, I believe, in the 20s, early 30s, they had a football program because of enrollment. However, they had to disband the football program, and then it was picked up back in 1965. And the first head coach of the Golden Hawks in 1965 was the late Jim McConnell. Now, this is the 3rd undefeated and untied season. McConnell, after the 1966 season, went up to Lehigh as an assistant. In 1967, the first undefeated season under Waller King. After that season, King went up to Lehigh as an assistant. In 1974, the Hawks went undefeated again under Jim Mazza. Mazza left to take an assistant's job at Temple. Mike Gooman and John Spagnola were members of that team, Gooman a junior and Spagnola a senior. And here in 1988, under Bob Stem, the Hawks' 3rd undefeated and untied season in 11 East Penn games and a district title game. 3 former Bethlehem Catholic head coaches wound up as assistant coaches at Lehigh. Jim McConnell following the 1966 season, Walt King in 1968, and Chuck Sonnen 1980 or 1981. Now there are 241 boys at Bethlehem Catholic in grades 10 through 12, well within the Class AA guidelines. The move up to AAA is between 274 and 300. Unofficially, well, this is pretty close. Golden Hawk teams since 1965 have won about 160 games while losing around 80.
Okay, they just introduced the Bulldogs of West York. As you saw, they're going to introduce now some of the players for Bethlehem Catholic. You're seeing there on the screen coming out of the end zone there. It's number 50, Bob Stem. And one of the things I think to look for as we're watching the Golden Hawks get introduced here, I really think as we were down on the field, there was a heavy frost this morning, and it is now has melted, and the field is going to get muddier and muddier, I believe, as the day goes on. And I really think the game will be won in the trenches with a line of scrimmage again, and that's something you've heard many times. But the team that controls that line of scrimmage, John, I believe, is the team that is ultimately going to be able to do the things that they want to do offensively as far as running or passing the football.
I think another interesting point to bring out today, Mike, in the ball game is District 11. Of course, had only the one playoff game, in which Bethlehem Catholic had a tough ball game with Mount Carmel for the first half, and then toward the tail end of the ball game, they broke it wide open en route to a 35-14 victory over a very good Mount Carmel football team. In District 3, in a semifinal round, West York defeated Littlestown 31-13, and then won the district title 33-14 over DeLone Catholic. So what I'm trying to point out is the fact that the winners have all scored 30 or more points in the 3 ball games that were played, while holding the opposition to less than 15, and that's an interesting point to bring out. There's the opposing coach for the Bulldogs from York High School, and that is Terry Bupp. Terry Bupp, the head coach. Also, another interesting point, just to show you how evenly these teams are matched. Each team shut out 3 opponents this season. Bethlehem Catholic, there's Bob Stem and his staff of assistants, and we'll give you a rundown on those people later. Bethlehem Catholic was not shut out. Naturally, they went undefeated, so they couldn't be. But West York was shut out just once, and that was by that 21-0 score at the hand of Hanover High School. And that was the second last game of regular season play. So they're a very good football team, and we're expecting to see one heck of a football game.
We really are, John, and let's look back again at the Bethlehem Catholic year that they had, and you were talking about some of their games. In their close games, I guess you would say Allen came the closest to beating them by the final score. They beat Allen 7-6. However, Parkland had them down late in the game, and a punt return or a kickoff return was the outcome of that one, where they ultimately lost to beat Parkland 21-16, and then the big win that they had over Easton on the Tony Isello field goal late in that fourth quarter to win that game 10-7. All the rest of their games throughout the East Penn Conference and the district playoff, as John mentioned, were kind of one lopsided.
All right, and of course you know that there won't be any tie ball games here today, because we'll have a tiebreaker and overtime procedure for you, and we'll pass that information on to you as we get close to possible tie. There's John Mattis, the starting quarterback for Bethlehem Catholic High School, a 5'11", 175-pound senior. He has rushed for 462 yards this year, passed for 1,188 yards, and he has thrown 12 touchdown passes.
Yeah, he's also run for 12 more scores, John. So he's really one of the big keys offensively for Bethlehem Catholic, is not only when you do get him trapped back there when he's passing, he's a very capable runner. He's rushed for over 460 yards and, again, scored the 12 touchdowns throughout the season.
And also he was voted for the second consecutive year All East Penn Conference first-string quarterback. There's the captains for today's game. For Bethlehem Catholic is John Mattis, Bob Stem Jr., number 32, Tony Iazello. Number 66 is Rob Carpenter. Trying to get a line on the players for West York. Across the way, if I can spot those numbers, I see at 24. That's Russ Stoner, their tailback, a 5'10", 170-pound senior. Number 22 is their quarterback, Marcus Schweitzer, a 5'7", 140-pound senior. Number 51, Mark Knob, a 6'1", senior, 195-pounder. Who is a heck of a defensive player. He has 40 solo tackles and 36 tackles this year.
All right, you're the visitor. It's punched heads, tails. Call it while it's in the air, and I have to catch it. Tails.
You call tails.
Heads it is. You want the football. Veteran toss, they want the football. You will defend that goal. Step over here, please. Step over there, please.
Bethlehem Catholic, you saw there, won the toss and as we elected to receive. And another interesting statistic, as I was doing some work, these do not allow many points in the first half, John. Looking at Bethlehem Catholic, their first quarter statistics, they have outscored opponents 50-13, while in the second quarter, their big quarter, they have outscored opponents 107 to just 10. On the other end, the Bulldogs of West York have not allowed a first quarter touchdown through the regular season, so we'll see how this game starts out. Both defenses tend to be a little bit stingy in this opening first and second quarters.
All right, Service Electric Cable TV, Super 2 Sports, bringing it to you live from Albright College in Reading, Pennsylvania. Bethlehem Catholic will receive, and a deep man for the Golden Hawks is Eric Marsh, a 5'10", 175-pound sophomore. There you see Marsh, number 34, one of the premier, probably, in my opinion, the best sophomore football player at Bethlehem Catholic High School since Mike Gooman had those honors years ago. On the near sideline will be number 9, Rich Gogler, a 5'10" junior, and on the far sideline will be number 44, John Zook, who is a 5'8", 160-pound junior. Kicking off for West York will be number 24, their big gun, Russ Stoner, 5'10", 170-pound senior. Has carried the ball 127 times for 739 yards, caught 19 passes for another 270 yards. What a football player. We're ready to go. A great day here in the Reading area, and of course the entire and general Lehigh Valley area. The winner of this ball game goes to Altoona to meet the best from the West 1 week from today. There's the kick, end over end. Gogler takes it on the 11-yard line, the 20, upended on the 26-yard line, and the Golden Hawks will take over first and 10.
As you're looking at your screen, well, not from that angle there, but as your screen from the side, moving from right to left, that's the direction the wind is coming. So, okay, we're going to take now a look at the starting lineups.
Starting lineups for the Golden Hawks and Bethlehem Catholic, and of course the man to watch is Tony Iazello. While eyes may be keyed on Iazello, they're going to have to watch Eric Marsh. Gogler splitting wide to the left. Mattis, the quarterback, hands off to Iazello. Iazello has running room. He's in his secondary. Breaks the tackle. He's down to the 40, the 30, the 25, the 20, and brought down from behind on a 17-yard line by number 20, Steve Brillhart. 6 foot, 170-pound senior, and Iazello almost breaks it on the first play of this football game.
Well, it was nothing fancy, John. It was just a trap up the middle, and I'm sure we'll get a look at it. Let's watch the great block here. Right inside there, and Iazello picks his hole, and then he has great speed when he gets out into the open area, and that's the play that he broke in their district playoff game. We'll watch the tail end of it now as Iazello just caught from behind by Brillhart.
A 57-yard run by Iazello. Whistles, penalty markers down. It looks like Bethlehem Catholic may have jumped the gun. On the right-hand side, I believe it was George Hahalis. So that'll cost the Hawks 5 and bring up a first down and 15. Defensively for West York, the Bulldogs. Let's take a look at it. And of course, the man to watch there is Mark Knobb, number 51. Mark Knobb is their big gun defensively, along with Dan Fieser, number 62. Back to the action. Eric Marsh does a little stutter step, gets inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line, where Mark Knobb, the 6'1", 195-pound senior I just talked about, came up to make the hit from his left inside linebacking position. Look at the Golden Hawks sideline directly below us. They are the number 1 seed in the state, and so they are the home team today. Marty Benzing in the left slot. Split wide to the left is Rich Gogler on top of your picture. The split backs, Marsh and Iazello. Hand off to Marsh. Marsh gets down to about the 18-yard line, where he's brought down by Joe Contino along with Mark Knobb.
Good defensive rating that time by Knobb, who is the defensive nose guard in there, and really did an extremely good job after getting fooled on that first play by Bethlehem Catholic. Clogged that hole down now, and Bethlehem Catholic hurt itself a little bit, John, with that illegal motion penalty. Now going to bring up third and about 12.
All right, third down and 12. Ball spotted midway between the sideline. Straight Mattis, quarterback delay. Hurdles one man, gets down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Sound made by Mike Fall, defensive right end for the Bulldogs. And that'll bring up a fourth down and 8. And look for Iazello to come in and try the field goal.
Well, we know that Iazello is a very capable field goal kicker. He has 3 on the season. He kicked that game winner against Easton of 31 yards. He also has 2 more to his credit of 37 and 33 yards.
All right, John Mattis will hold. Iazello will attempt to put the Golden Hawks up on the board. This will be a 31-yard boot. It's up high, end over end. It's a beauty. It's the weight. Hold it. Slid off to the side, off to the right behind the post here on a field which houses the Lambs here at Albright College. And out of our view, it is not good. And the Bulldogs in West York will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20.
John, I started to mention at the top that Bethlehem Catholic will be going into the wind in this first quarter. And I really... Okay, offensively now let's take a look at the Bulldogs here from West York. And again, they will be led by their...
Quarterback is Schweitzer. Ball is in motion. Takes the handoff. Mike comes to the left side. Breaks the tackle. Breaks another tackle. Gets a good block. And is brought down from behind around the 40-yard line by Rob Carpenter. So each team now comes up with a big offensive play on the very first play from scrimmage.
Again, excellent line blocking. Let's take a look at it here. We're going to see a good kick-out block, and then we'll see Mike Fall cut inside there. You see it. Turns it back in against the grain, and boy, isn't that amazing. Both teams break a play on their opening possessions.
All right, quarterback Schweitzer. Russ Stoner, the lone setback. Looks like a double wing in motion. Goes Steve Brillhart. Hand off to Brillhart. Goes wide to the right. Can he make the turn? He makes a good move. Gets around Diacount and forced out of bounds across the way by John Mattis along with Blaine Diacount. Another first down for the Bulldogs from West York. Second first down. And they are in Bethlehem Catholic territory. Splitting wide to the left is Sean Heinold. Brillhart goes in motion again. Hand off to Stoner, does a little zig and zag, and he gets down to the 45-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 7. Mike Russ and Marty Benzing team up to make the tackle for Bethlehem Catholic.
That's running into that middle of that Bethlehem Catholic defense. And John, you were talking about that Bermuda Triangle led by nose guard Bob Stem there, and tough sledding in there for the Bulldogs.
Mike Fall on the right wing. Andy Kepner splits wide to the left. And now Falls coming in motion, takes the handoff, comes to the near sideline, evades one would-be tackler and is upended on a 40 on a solo tackle by Jimmy Knobloch. Defensively for Bethlehem Catholic, here's the way they line up. Of course, one of the big defensive men is Tony Iazello for the Hawks. Plays the defensive end position. Bob Stem, the left linebacker for the Hawks. 3rd down and 2 for West York. Heinold goes wide to the right. Long count by Schweitzer. Hands the ball off to Stoner. Stoner very close to the first down. Ball coughed up loose, but after the play, Matt Brady came in to make the hit. The right linebacker for the Golden Hawks, and it's going to be close, depending on the spot. And it appears that, I don't know, from our vantage point, which is at an angle, it appears that it might be inches short. We'll bring the chain gang in and take a look.
It is going to be very close. Just a simple straight ahead dive by the Bulldogs there, and they do have a little bit of a size advantage up front over the Bethlehem Catholic defensive front, as you're looking at Marty Benzing there, the back of him, number 82, as we wait for the measurement.
We got it. The nose of the football, 3rd first down for West York. Their deepest penetration here in the early minutes of this ball game in the Bethlehem Catholic territory. We have 7:32 remaining here in the first period. And the Bulldogs have the ball 1st and 10 on a Golden Hawk 38. Open field to the right. Mike Fall again on the right wing. Stoner, the lone setback. In motion, Brillhart takes the handoff and is dropped behind the line of scrimmage on a super tackle on a part of Iazello, who came crashing through to drop him back on the 44-yard line.
West York came with motion with Brillhart, but Iazello now read that play. As we'll get a look at it here, you'll see Brillhart coming in motion. But watch the penetration that Iazello has there on the end, right in your picture there, and just totally does the job there in turning that play inside.
There I see a penalty marker right behind Stem's arm. And Bethlehem Catholic will have the option to see what they do. Illegal procedure, I thought it was, but I wouldn't call until the official declined by the Hawks. And that'll bring up a second down and 14. Second down, 17. Doesn't look that long. Bottom of your picture, and out of it now is Sean Heinhold as he splits wide to the left. There goes Brillhart in motion once again. Here comes a little play action with Schweitzer. Schweitzer is hit. Schweitzer is dropped behind the line of scrimmage again. Rob Carpenter, one of the first men to hit him along with Marty Benzing. Drop him, and that'll bring up a fourth down. And about 20 to go for the Bulldogs. As the Golden Hawk defense rises to the occasion. 2 consecutive plays and drops the Bulldogs for losses.
Schweitzer trying to roll out left a little bit. Appeared to have enough time, but credit to the secondary for the Golden Hawks and the no open receivers downfield, and resulted in a sack for the Golden Hawk defense.
Third down, 20. I thought it was fourth down, but there was that penalty. Once again, Brillhart goes in motion. There's a whistle. And another penalty marker down behind the lamppost, the standard. And we'll have to see what that's all about. The officials are all from District 2, Mike?
Yes, they are. The Bulldogs now self-destructing a little bit, as you see, coming up with some motion penalties here, and now really have themselves at a hole at 3rd and 25. John, they had looked good through that drive a little bit, but so often, as you see throughout the year, those mental mistakes and those procedures and offside penalties just kill these long drives.
And that was the delay, so they have the ball back at their own 48-yard line. Brillhart, Steve goes in motion, wide to the right. Schweitzer back to pass, right down the middle. This one is intercepted. Picked off by Bethlehem Catholic High School's Brett Brady. Brady had it, returns the ball to the Bulldogs' 46-yard line. For a while, it looked like Stem and Brady wrestling for the ball.
Let's watch it here. Schweitzer doesn't show good judgment here, as Brady was all in there. I think Stem is in there also defensively. You see nothing but Golden Hawk defenders, and then the interception by Brady, and he's following that picket line there, and a big turnover for the Golden Hawk defense, and we mentioned how stingy they can be. All
right, Bethlehem Catholic with the ball. First down to 10. Mattis, a little play action. He's looking. He swings when his pass is completed to Iazello. Knocked out of bounds by Mark Knob, and the ball will be spotted right in front of Bethlehem Catholic bench around the 38-yard line. Danny Kendra, one of the assistants, talked to the official, said, hey, how about another spot there?
Well, you all know Danny Kendra from his days at Central Catholic and then professionally. Good play action by Mattis that time, as he was able to freeze the linebackers, and Isello was able to get open in the flats.
Mike Rapp wide to the left this time. A little pitch out, swing past the Marsh. Marsh has a little bit of running room. He's down inside the 35 to the 33, where Mark Knob, the 6'1", 195-pound senior, the defensive leader for West York, comes up to make the hit. But that's a first down for Bethlehem Catholic. They're second in the ball game. We're scoreless with 5:19 remaining here in the first quarter.
As you watch this game today unfold, that's the bread and butter play for the Golden Hawks offensively. That quick toss to Isello around the end. Watch tackle George Hahalis pull on that and lead the blocking.
All right, Gongler wide to the left. Split backs, Marsh and Iazello. Behind John Mattis. Hand off to Marsh. Marsh. Driven down, knocked down by number 51. Knob again was one of the first men to hit him with Tony Emming. Defensive left end, number 66 for the Bulldogs. There's Marsh, sophomore. His father is on a coaching staff here at Bethlehem Catholic, and he was a scholar athlete, the first in the Lehigh Valley chapter of the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame back around 1965. He played his high school ball at Nazareth High School, then later went on to Purdue. Second down and 9. Iazello off right tackle down to the 25-yard line. He'll be short of the first down as Dan Fieser comes up with Tony Emick to make the stop. Fieser, the right inside linebacker, senior, 5'10". Defensively, the front four averages 203 pounds for West York. The linebackers, 166. The corners and the safety average 160 pounds per man. Bethlehem Catholic's Iazello. No, stopped short of the first down. At the line of scrimmage. The first man to hit him was Doug Lynch, a 6'2", 220-pound senior, along with Dan Fieser. So that'll bring up a 4th down and 1. And let's see what Coach Bob Stem will do.
Well, I'm sure Coach Stem's going to go for it here. He's in that 4-down zone inside the 30, and a punt would really be useless, and Golden Hawks are going to go for it.
Bethlehem Catholic, 4th and 1. Had one attempt for a field goal, went off to the right side, not good. Iazello has the first down and more as he gets down to the 18-yard line, where Judd Collier has to come up from his right cornerback position to make the stop. Bethlehem Catholic, 42 men in uniform. 3rd first down for the Hawks. 14 seniors, 17 juniors, 10 sophomores, and a freshman.
Iazello makes this play. That play's designed to go a little bit more outside. You saw how he cut it back inside. He saw the seam inside, and good for the Bethlehem Catholic first down.
Iazello again does a little stutter step, gets down to the 10-yard line. Tony on a move is finding daylight on the left side of that defensive line for the Bulldogs. Dana Brandt made the tackle along with Judd Collier. The right offensive side of the Hawk line and left defensive side of the West York line. They have 35 men in uniform. The Bulldogs, 19 seniors, 7 juniors, and 9 sophomores. There's Bob Stem, 6 years head coach. Penalty against the Hawks. Procedure. Moves the ball back to the 23-yard line.
Well, we have now seen both teams do this. Bethlehem Catholic on both their drives now has moved deep into West York territory only to hurt themselves with a penalty. Let's see if they're able to overcome this one now. It's going to make it 1st and 15.
Mike Rapp and Marty Benzie go wide to the left for the Hawks. The pro set behind John Mattis, the senior quarterback. Iazello, this time the Bulldogs wait for him. They collar him. They knock him down. Doug Lynch, one of the first men with Dana Brandt, and Dan Fieser to make the stop. 2nd down and 15 to go for Bethlehem Catholic. Starting offensively for the Hawks, we have 7 seniors, 3 juniors, and a sophomore. And on defense, Bob Stem starts 9 seniors and 2 juniors. Defensively, for the Bulldogs, I'll give you that in a moment. They have 7 two-way starters, by the way, West York, and all of them are seniors. Little Mattis has a receiver over the head of the intended receiver, Blaine Diacount, down around the 10-yard line. Russ Stoner covering on the play for the Bulldogs. A little flea flicker that time.
That's what it was, a little razzle-dazzle there as you're looking at Mattis there, the quarterback number 5. He's throwing right into the teeth of that wind, and it is a little brisk. It looked like that ball kind of just hung up on him a little bit, and the receiver was wide open.
You know, we talked about Stoner defensively. He has 9 interceptions, 29 solo tackles, 20 assists. Mattis, a bomb. Marsh, no, over his head. Down incomplete. Covering on a play was Dana Brandt once again.
You look at Marsh there again, and it seemed again that ball kind of hung on Mattis as you're looking at him right there. He's throwing it into the teeth of that wind, and it just kind of fooled even the receiver. Even Marsh seemed to have a hard time on figuring out where that pass was going to wind up.
West York Area High School. Defensively, they start 10 seniors and a junior, and on offense, the same numbers, 10 seniors, 1 junior. Gogler now wide to the left for the Hawk. They go in the I formation. Marsh in motion. Mattis. Oh, picked off. Ball was intercepted on the 9-yard line. And running up was Steve Grillhart, who ran it out to about, let's see where they spot the ball, the 11-yard line. Now they're moving it up and see where they officially spotted. They put it on at 12.
Let's watch here, and this throw, this interception really doesn't hurt. This is not a bad thing. Grillhart there you see on the interception, but that ball there, it pins West York deep in their own territory. There was a situation where maybe you just want to bat that one down. You're going to get better field position out of it as it was 4th down on that play.
All right, Heinhold on the bottom of your picture. No score. We have 1:45 remaining in the first period. Class AA, PIAA championship. Eastern Regional, hand off to Grillhart. Steve goes wide right and is forced out of bounds across the way around the 17-yard line, and that's where they'll spot the ball. Forced out by Tony Iazello. Gain of 5 on the play. Gain of 4 will be 2nd down and 6.
Play gains to the 17-yard line, 2nd down.
In 1987, West York was 5-5. This year they are 11-1. 9-1 in regular season play. 2-0 in the playoffs. Oh, Stoner really upended. Tackle made by John Zook. Came up from his safety position to make the hit.
Up by number 44.
That's the Golden Hawks.
Good job by the defensive front for Bethlehem Catholic there, as they just did not allow any movement off that line of scrimmage. And both offenses doing quite a good job here of working that line of scrimmage, but the mistakes have cost both sides thus far.
Marcus Schweitzer, quarterback, hands the ball off and hit behind the line of scrimmage and dropped in his tracks. Was Brillhart by Tony Spagnola, the middle guard, and Matt Brady for Bethlehem Catholic, and that'll bring up a 4th down and 9 and force West York into a punting situation.
One of the things here now, the deep people now for Bethlehem Catholic will be looking into a glaring sun right now.
Stoner back in punt formation on his own goal line. A deep man for Bethlehem Catholic, Rich Gardler, along with Eric Marsh. There they are, Marsh, bottom of your picture. Good pass from center, gets the kick away, a high kick. Gardler takes it on his own 45, comes to the near sideline, over the midfield stripe, into Bulldog territory. Ball will be spotted on the West York 41-yard line. These teams have been impressive. High-octane offense by both teams.
They can score from anywhere on the field. Is now Bethlehem Catholic coming up with excellent field position now. A good block there by Justin Morbido on the end, allowed the runner to get to the outside and put Bethlehem Catholic in West York territory.
That was a 40-yard punt with a 14-yard return. Bethlehem Catholic. We have 16 seconds remaining in a scoreless first quarter. The Hawks with the ball. 1st and 10 on the West York 42-yard line. Service Electric Cable TV 2 bring you the action live from Albright College in Reading, Pennsylvania. Benzing on the left wing. Mattis pitches the ball out to Marsh. Marsh gets one block, tries to go wide, and is dropped back on about the 42-yard line. Mark Knob, one of the first men to hit him and drop him, along with Dan Fieser.
I'm sure in their scouting reports, West York noted that the Bethlehem Catholic gets a lot of mileage out of that quick toss I was talking about. They really overplayed it that time on the end, and I'm sure Coach Stem will now talk to Mattis and maybe cut something back inside off that play.
Okay, the end of the first quarter. Bethlehem Catholic and West York Area High School, 0-0. We'll be right back.
Ready for...
All right, we're back to the action live here as Eric Marsh takes the handoff and crossover left tackle. Here's the play. Gets down to the 35-yard line.
Well, you'll see Marsh comes within a step of breaking that one. I mentioned that toss sweep. It looked like West York was cheating a little bit outside, and Coach Stem opted to trap inside, and Marsh almost broke it.
3rd down and 3, open field to the right. Mattis, Iazello has the first down and more as he gets down inside the 30-yard line to about the 29, where he's brought down one of the first men to hit him, number 78, and that's Doug Lynch, the 6'2", 220-pound senior, as the Hawks pick up their 4th first down in the ball game. No score.
First quarter statistics, Bethlehem Catholic had 3 first down. They rushed for 84 yards. They passed for 8, a total of 92 yards. West York, 3 first downs, 35 in rushing, none through the passing for a total of 35 yards.
Marsh has a blocker in front of him. Marsh in the secondary, breaks the tackle at 10-5, down at the 2-yard line. Eric Marsh, good blocking in front of him, brought down by Judd Collier. As he broke a couple tackles, Dana Brent made the initial hit on Marsh. And it'll be 1st and goal to go for the Golden Hawks from Bethlehem Catholic. Good first down.
Good job by Marsh of reading his lead blocker and cutting it inside and then squaring his shoulders to the goal line, and just a touchdown-saving tackle at the 2-yard line.
Carpenter's a guy who really gave him a block, gave him a hole. Iazello off left tackle, bulls his way into the end zone, and Bethlehem Catholic breaks the scoreless deadlock, puts the Hawks up on the board, 6-0. There's Iazello, number 32. Tony is 6'1", 185-pound senior, two-way performer, and a heck of a competitor. Tony Iazello will attempt the extra point. John Mattis will hold it, fake. But there's a whistle and a flag.
Well, as we've seen a lot of teams, you see the line and most of the players are set up to the left there, except for the center, the holder, and the kicker over there to the right.
Ball. Offense in the neutral zone, 5 yards.
Well, that was supposedly a trick play that backfired.
Probably what happened, the line to the left might have been up a little bit too far and in that neutral area, and Coach Stem looking to go for 2 there in that situation. Now we'll have it backfire. You got to look at Coach Bob Stem.
What a guy. Bob Stem, a graduate of Peaburg High School in 1958, was a 3-year starter in football. More about Bob Stem later. Iazella will attempt the extra point. The snap, the plant, the boot. The ball is up. It is end over end, but again off to the right. So a field goal attempt by Iazella was wide right. The extra point attempt. Here's the touchdown.
This is vintage Tony Isello there, as you see the contact made and the leg drive and just kept pumping into the end zone, and the Golden Hawks score for 6. The scoring drive, it came at 10:47 of the second period. It took 5 plays, all on the ground, a total of 42 yards, capped by the Tony Isello 3-yard run. And as you saw just there, the extra point was wide to the right after that penalty against Bethlehem Catholic, so we have a 6-0 score.
Surprisingly, both kicks were good. They were high, they were long enough, they were end over end, but off to the right. And that missed point, missed field goal could come back to haunt them. Russ Stoner drops deep for the Bulldogs from West York High School, all the way down on his own 5-yard line. There he is. 5'10", 170-pound senior. What an athlete. He scored 130 points going into this ball game. Iazella will be kicking off for Bethlehem Catholic. The up men, we have Grillhart on the one side, on the far side. Iazella signifies he's ready. There he is, number 32 from our end zone camera. High, end over end. Stoner takes it on a 6. Oh, surrounded by Golden Hawks, and he dropped on about the 14-yard line. Brian Quilo, one of the first men to hit him, but there were 5 golden brown jerseys on top of Stoner. Never gave him a chance. He tried to zig, he tried to zag. Didn't work. He was dropped.
It was excellent coverage by the kickoff team by the Hawks that time. They stayed in their lanes very well, and then when they pinned Stoner in, then they collapsed on him, and West York's going to have to start off in poor field position.
They have the ball on their own 14-yard line. They trail by 6-0 score. 10:25 remaining here in the first half. Marcus Schweitzer, the quarterback. They shift unbalanced to the right this time. Schweitzer hands the ball up. Grillhart has a Stoner blocking for him, but he's brought down. And was he ever hit at the line of scrimmage? Blaine Diacount came up to hit him along with Tony Spagnola. Spagnola, number 61, a 5'9", 170-pound senior.
Watch the overload now to the right, left defensively for Bethlehem Catholic. Watch 44, John Zook, keep contained there. He doesn't make the tackle. He's to the inside there, Isello there, but he made contain and he allowed the rest of the defensive unit to come in from the inside and help him out.
Andy Kepner goes wide to the left. They go into the I formation. And now shift to the pro set. Schweitzer back to pass. Little play action. He's being chased. He has some running room, however, and he's knocked out of bounds across the way after a short gain as John Zook came up from a strong safety position to make the hit, knock him out of bounds across the way.
Again, we mentioned the first quarter stats. No yards passing so far for West York. Give some credit to that secondary. Again, nobody open back there. The 4 people back there doing a good job of coverage.
Third down.
Third down and 6.
And about 6 coming up for the Bulldogs. Hine hole wide to the right, bottom of your picture. Back to pass, Schweitzer again. He looks, he fires. This one almost picked off. Almost picked off, deflected by Zook. As Blaine Diacount was waiting for the tip, but there's a penalty marker down.
Almost intercepted by Diacount.
Again, as we wait for the call
That's
here.
at the line of scrimmage, Mike. That could be holding.
Yes, it could. We'll wait for the call. But again, excellent coverage in that secondary again, John. As there were 3 or 4 brown jerseys around the intended receiver. And good pressure on Schweitzer.
Here comes the call.
Clipping. Offense. Refuse. 4th down.
All right, 4th down coming up. And once again, West York will be forced into a punting situation, their second punt of the day. Eric Marsh dropping back deep along with Rich Gogler for the Hawks. Russ Stoner goes back in punt formation on his own 5-yard line. See if the Hawks put any pressure on. Low pass and center. Look out! Oh, he's breaking it. He may have the first down across the way on a broken play, but I believe it's going to be short. Oh, that's what I like about pressure on a punter.
It is. It's going to be a West York first down as they needed they needed about 6 yards there, and a good reaction there on a broken play, and he was just able to get outside. Let's watch it here. A short snap, and he gets the presence of mind, and you see the player overrun it there, and there's nobody there on the corner over there till he's well past those yardage markers in a West York first down. That's a big break for them.
Yes, it is. Bulldogs come up. They have a first down and 10 on their own 28-yard line. The overload once again to the right. Drillhorn, Stoner to deep man. Schweitzer back to pass. Marcus looks. He pumps. He goes down the middle. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Mike Fall. Covering on the play was John Mattis.
Again, as you look at number 22, Schweitzer there for West York. Good pressure again. Isello got deep into the backfield and kind of forced Schweitzer to throw the ball a little before he wanted to. But again, good coverage in that Bethlehem Catholic secondary.
2nd down and 10 coming up for the Bulldogs. Stoner and Fall, the split backs. Schweitzer again back to pass. Looks and fumbles the ball. West York pounces on it. They lose it. A big pile up on about the 24-yard line, and the Bulldogs recover. Stoner is the man who pounced on a loose ball.
There's a couple of people that had an opportunity at this one. Let's take a look at it. Again, look at the good penetration from the middle of that Bethlehem Catholic defense. See a couple people in there, and number 61 there for Bethlehem Catholic reaching in and grabbing the arm. And then there's 2 or 3 people that have an opportunity to come up with that football, but Russ Stoner's the man who ultimately comes up with it. That was Tony Spagnola in there applying the pressure on Schweitzer.
All right, 3rd down and 15 coming up for West York. They trail 6-0, splitting wide to the right is Heinhold. Schweitzer again back to pass, looks left, looks right, being chased, and throws the ball. Forward motion will be incomplete. Tom Peruso, the man putting the pressure on Schweitzer. Peruso, 6 foot, 196-pound senior. There's Schweitzer, number 22. And that'll bring up a 4th down. And once again, West York unable to generate any kind of an offense, forced into a punting situation.
Except for that broken play on punt
That's
formation,
right.
They could have really been in poor field position here. They're in punt formation again.
So Stoner's back on his own 12. Good pass from center this time. Gets the kick away, not too deep. Hits, and it takes a Bethlehem Catholic bounce, and will be down on the Bulldogs' 38-yard line. So Bethlehem Catholic, excellent field position. The Hawks lead 6-0. 7:33 remaining here in the first half. A 13-yard punt.
Again, we're seeing the effects of the wind now as West York is going in that direction, and you can just see that kickers and throwers and just your offensive unit do not feel as comfortable going into that breeze, which is coming from your right to left as you're looking on the screen.
Bensing on the right wing. Hand off to Marsh. Eric goes wide, cuts inside over tackle, gets down to about the 37-yard line, where he's brought down by Tom Landon. 6'1", 160-pound junior, tight end for the Bulldogs. Gain on a play of about 5. Will be 2nd down and 5.
I think one of the key things to watch as you watch this team offensively, Bethlehem Catholic, is the way Isello and Marsh block for one another. They're not opposed to doing that. They both stick their nose in there and block very well for each other.
And there's Isello. Breaks one tackle, gets down to the 30, driven back to the 32, but the forward progress is spotted about the 31-yard line.
Good job defensively by West York as they just stuffed that play at the line of scrimmage and no gain, and going to bring up 3rd and 4 from Bethlehem Catholic. They were able to take advantage of that good field position they got their last possession. Let's see if they can do it again.
Rich Gogler replacing Mike Rapp for the Golden Hawks. Iazello tripped up as he gets down to about the 28-yard line. One of the first men to hit him was Mike Fall, defensive right end for West York.
Stoner and Paul making the tackle.
Do you see a penalty marker down across the way? There's one down.
There's a flag on the field.
Way across the field.
Might be. Well, they are talking to the captains for West York there as you're looking at the Bethlehem Catholic team there, but it must be a penalty against Bethlehem Catholic, and it is.
Procedure. Offense. Repeat the down. 3.
All right, the ball spotted now on the Bulldog 36-yard line. Rapp back in, replacing Gogler for Bethlehem Catholic. The Golden Hawks, 12-0 in the season, the first team in East Penn Conference play to go unbeaten in 11 regular season games, and then defeated Mount Carmel for the District 3 title. Mattis, play action, looks, pumps, throws down the middle, intended for Rapp, intercepted, and Brillhart has, and he's forced out of bounds. They're going to spot the ball at the 7-yard line. So Mattis picked off twice by Brillhart today.
But again, John, this is third down and a long, long way to go, and this is not a costly interception here as you see Mattis rolling to his left. Brillhart playing it very well from his safety position, steps in front and comes up with his second interception of the afternoon, and a good job. But West York again back in that poor field position.
Marty Benzing forcing him out of bounds on a 7. So West York, 1st and 10 on their own 7-yard line. They have Fall on the right wing. Pine hole wide to the left, hand off Brillhart. Brillhart comes to the short side of the field. He's dropped. Upended by Tony Iazello. At the line of scrimmage, no gain on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Where Iazello made a great reaction there. It looked like he got sucked into the middle on that play fake there a little bit and then darted back outside to make the stop, and no gain on the play.
Andy Kepner in for West York. Terry Bupp, the head coach. John Sprinkle, Steve Cotton, Tony Dessenberg, Don Gable, and Fillmore Billett, the assistant coaches. Schweitzer hands off to Stoner. Stoner uses power and gets up to about the 13-yard line. Hit by Tom Peluso. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. And about 3 for West York.
It was a big play for West York there as they were able to move something out there. They got some good or good blocking middle of their offensive line, and a good run by Stoner now puts him in an opportunity where it brings up 3rd and 3.
Superintendent of Schools at West York Area High School is Dr. Albert Glennon. Neil Everhard is the principal, and John Shearer is the athletic director, and a very fine gentleman. I want to thank Mr. Shearer for all his help. Getting information to get it prior to this game. Stoner being chased, breaks a tackle, and steps out of bounds across the way on about the 30-yard line. Enough for the 1st down as Mike Rapp forced him out of bounds along with Iazello.
West York goes to the option here now as the option left. Schweitzer does an excellent job of reading and pitching to Stoner, and Stoner with his speed got to the outside and a 1st down for West York.
5th 1st down for West York in the ball game. Kepner wide to the right. Schweitzer to Fall. Fall hurdles one man, ran right into a Golden Hawk, and that was Mike Rapp who dropped him on about the 27-yard line.
Good penetration by Zook coming up from his cornerback. Turned the play inside where Rapp was able to make the tackle.
Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. 6-0, Bethlehem Catholic leading. We have 4 minutes and running remaining here in the 1st half. Heinold once again splits wide to the right. Stoner in the slot. Schweitzer back to pass. The pressure's on. Pass almost intercepted. Almost intercepted by Matt Brady. And Matt Brady was looking for offensive interference. And there's a penalty marker across the way.
There's a flag on the play.
Actually, what happened there, I think Brady was looking for the interference as they're talking to the Bethlehem Catholic people. Brady had the position there. Let's get the call here.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it's going to go.
Offensive interference.
I think Brady helped him make that call a little bit as he was in position to make that interception. He came up. He was irate. He looked at the official and the flag came out.
Looked like the intended receiver had an arm lock on him.
Yes, it did.
Offensive pass interference. Loss of down. 15 yards. 3.
Wow.
Let's take a look at it here now. As you'll see number 20, Brillhart is out of position there, and Brady getting up and say, hey, he was holding on to my arm, and he got the call to go in his favor.
Boy, that's a big one, I'll tell you. That moves the ball all the way back to the Bulldog 14.
3rd down and 24.
Kepner wide to the right. 6-0, Bethlehem Catholic leading. 3:45 remaining in the first half. 3rd down and 24. Schweitzer back to pass. Good protection. Pumps, goes. Incomplete. Actually, the only man in position to receive that would have been the left tackle, Doug Lynch. A lineman, so he would have been ineligible anyway. There he is. And that'll bring up a 4th down and force the Bulldogs again into a punting situation.
That was a good read defensively by Brady there, who was back in pass coverage. He read the screen, and he was over there and just forced a bad throw. It was kind of a safety valve pass by West York. They didn't want to risk a turnover here deep in their own territory, but a good read by Brady.
Stoner back in his own 1-yard line. Russ gets the pass. Good pass from center. Gets pressure, but gets the kick away. A nice high spiral. Hits on about the 43-yard line. It's out of bounds. The officials, however, will spot it on the 45. The West York 45. So Bethlehem Catholic, with a 6-0 lead, have good position.
There was a punt of 31 yards with no return. A statistic here through this first half. So for West York is 0 of 5 passing with 1 interception. So they are not getting anything out of their passing game.
All right, Rich Gogler wide to the left. Marty Benzing in the left slot. Isello, March split backs. Here's Marsh looking for a blocker. Comes to the near sideline and then leaps down to the 36-yard line where Steve Brillhart has to come up from his cornerback position to make the stop.
Boy, and Marsh, watch him dip to the outside. Play designed to go inside. Now watch him get outside. If he put that football over on that other side, he might be able to use a stiff arm. He just had one player to beat, and Brillhart playing a whale of a football game here defensively.
Yes, he is.
Made the stop.
There's Marsh again. This time goes wide right and hurdles his way down to the 30-yard line. More than enough yardage for the first down. Brillhart again in on a stop. 6 first down for the Golden Hawks. They lead 6-0. 2:50 and running remaining in the first half. Gogler wide to the left. Shot from our end zone camera. Mattis back to pass. Look, has a receiver. Hits Blaine Diacount. Blaine inside the 20. Down to about the 10-yard line, depending on his spot, as he tight-roped the right sideline before Dana Brandt knocked him out of bounds.
Blaine Diacount is a great story for Bethlehem Catholic. At the beginning of the season, he was listed as a backup quarterback. You look at him there, he's moved to tight end. He's probably going to be first-team tight end. It really has been a big plus for this Golden Hawk offense.
First down and goal to go. 7th first down for the Hawks. Iazello, power inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Iazello getting some good blocking up front from Scott Sauer. Also, giving a good block is Mike Rapp before Russ Stoner had to come up and make the hit.
We're seeing the Golden Hawks the way we've seen them through most of the season now, and keep in mind this is the second quarter where they have really dominated their football games throughout the season, now looking to go in for their second score of the afternoon.
Mr. Richard Culver, the principal and a die-hard football fan. Matt Courtney, the athletic director. Iazello gets down to about the 1. Driven all the way back to the 4, but the forward Bronx will be spotted around the 2, between 1.5 and 2. Mark Knobb and Doug Lynch teaming up to make the tackle.
Well, with some help from his friends too, as Isello just does not stop those legs from pumping. The initial contact made by those two people, but not till the 3rd or 4th white jersey arrived did Isello finally go down.
Rapp is in on the right side, Benzing on the left wing. Marsh and Iazello split. Here's Mattis looking. He had Benzing, but he was hit. Brought down by Mike Fall on a fine solo tackle back around the 8-yard line. Momentarily, he had Benzing.
Mattis has done so many great things this year. Let's watch him. He needs to throw it on the 5th step, John. He waits right there. He needed to throw it. That's when Benzing was open. When he waited that long, the defensive secondary recovered, and then he was no longer open.
All right, Iazello's second field goal attempt of the afternoon. Mattis will hold. It'll be a 26-yarder. The snap, the plant, the boot, the ball is up. This one is up, and it is good. Bethlehem Catholic 9, West York nothing. 36 seconds remain in the first half.
Again, Bethlehem Catholic taking advantage of this excellent field position they have had throughout most of this second quarter. And Isello, who has missed one field goal to the right, an extra point to the right, which really was a field goal after the penalty on the extra point, got that one to go straight through the middle, and that's his 4th field goal on the season, and it results in a Bethlehem Catholic 9-0 lead with 36 seconds to play in this first half.
Don't forget, the winner of this one will meet the best from the West next Saturday afternoon out at Altoona. They will play the winner of the Bellwood Antis and Wilmington ball game. Boy, they are top seeds, I'll tell you. Across the state, Bethlehem Catholic is seeded 1, Bellwood Antis is 2, and Wilmington is number 3. You can see how good a football is out there.
There are not too many losses throughout any of these teams in the playoffs. I believe the one team has 3 losses, and that's it, but most of them with all undefeated seasons or maybe just 1 loss.
All right, Russ Stoner, the deep man, back on his own 4-yard line. Tony Iazello will be kicking off from his own 40 with 36 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Golden Hawks leading 9-0. There's Stoner. What an athlete.
Been relatively quiet offensively. The Hawks have done a pretty good job on him here in this first half.
Squib kick, bottled by Fall. Picked up by Stoner, and he slips. Down on a 22-yard line. There's a penalty marker down. They may have a late hit there.
Get an idea of the softness of the field a little bit. I mentioned it at the top of the show that the field's going to take a little bit of a beating due to that frost that has now melted into the ground and made it somewhat soggy. Stoner trying to reverse directions. Let's listen to the call.
Personal foul! Brown! First down!
That's what they're calling, a late hit.
That's what it was. Let's look at that scoring drive for Bethlehem Catholic. The score came with 36 seconds remaining in this second period. It took 6 plays, 5 on the ground, 1 through the air, a total of 37 yards, and the field goal by Isello was a 26-yard kick.
West York first and 10 on their own 37-yard line. Schweitzer, Brillhart in motion. Brillhart takes the handoff, and it's hit as he gets up over the 40-yard line, but just about the 40. Man making the tackle for Bethlehem Catholic, number 70, was Tom Peruso again. Peruso playing a fine game defensively for the Hawks, and the Bulldogs from West York won a timeout.
A little bit of a variation off of that motion where Brillhart has been running basically to the end on out. That time they kind of cut it inside and they tried a trap block. Looked like there was something there, but a good job by Peruso as he cut down and closed that hole quickly.
Brillhart listed as a 6-foot senior, 170-pounder. He doesn't look that big, but going into this ball game on 71 carries, he has picked up 536 yards, so he can motor, he can fly.
Yes, he can. We're looking there at West York going over some strategy. Coach Terry Bupp there in the screen with the beard talking to number 22 as quarterback Schweitzer there.
We'll get caught timeout after this play then. All right.
Okay, you heard the end of it there as I was talking a little too much. I didn't realize we were live in the huddle there, but they want to run a play and then call a timeout now as we're just 10 seconds to play here in the first half.
Don't forget to stick around, because at halftime, Bill Bickle will be describing the highly talented and recognized West York Area High School band that they'll perform. Dan Mowdy will be on the sidelines, hopefully chatting with the representative from West York.
Bethlehem Catholic has held true to form as you look at Bob Stem. Now, I don't believe West York has been in Bethlehem Catholic territory in this second quarter.
Schweitzer rushes on, pass to Brillhart, completed, and he's over the midfield stripe and into Bethlehem Catholic territory, where he's brought down by Mattis and Iazello with 2 seconds remaining in the first half. 6 first down for West York in the ball game.
Let's get a look at it here. Bethlehem Catholic taking a deep drop in a prevent defense. They'll give him that little pass underneath. Then you see Mattis coming in there along with Isello there and just try and shut it down once the catch is made. The play took 8 seconds, so there's now just 2 seconds remaining here in the first half.
And Bethlehem Catholic leading 9-0 on a touchdown and a field goal by Iazello. Tony scoring all 9 points. He missed one field goal attempt and missed an extra point attempt. Both the field goal and the extra point attempt were wide to the right.
He's been awfully big in these playoffs. In the District 11 playoff game, he scored 4 touchdowns with a run of 77 yards, capping that off and sealing victory, and also was 3 of 4 in extra points. So he had a total of 27 points in that playoff game and has all 9 of Bethlehem Catholic's points here this afternoon.
By the way, Mike, the pregame interest on the part of both schools also has been just about 50-50. Each team sold, or each school sold, approximately 600 tickets for this ball game. Oh, Schweitzer is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Marty Benzing went right over one of the Bethlehem Catholic defenders and knocked him down. And that is the end of the first half. Bethlehem Catholic 9, West York Area High School nothing.
A well-played first half, really, by both squads. And again, Bethlehem Catholic holding true to form in that second quarter, where they came up and played big and outscored them 9-0.
We'll be back live at Albright College Stadium in just a moment.
With Becker coach Bob Stem. And Coach, it looks like a good game from your standpoint, but you'd like to see a little more point production.
Yeah, we had some opportunities. We're going to have to take those opportunities when they come to us. We were down inside their 20-yard line, I think, 2 or 3 times and we came away with nothing. We're going to have to score when we get there. We're going to have to be able to cut out the mistakes. The 5-yard penalties at crucial times really hurt our offense. I think we should go right at them. You know, I've been messing around a little bit too much. I think we're going to run a little more power second half and try to jam the ball in a little bit more.
Looks like your Hawks are winning the battle of the trenches both on offense and defense.
Well, I think so. I think we're coming off the ball pretty good offensively. I think we're getting a little better as the game progressed, and I hope we get a little stronger in the second half.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Go back to your team. I know they're waiting for you out there.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, when we come back later on in this half, we'll be talking to the athletic director of West York, John Shearer, who will give us an update on what's going on at West York athletic-wise. Back to you.
Now, we invite you to sit.
Well, it's halftime, and we're proud to present the West York Bulldog Marching Band. They're under the direction of Mr. Tom Eister. He is assisted by Mike Donnelly, who is a color guard instructor, Wanda Ryder, the majorette instructor, Brad Myers, the drum instructor, and the drum majors today will be Brad Myers subbing for Sean Free, who is a magician. He has a show today, he couldn't get off. Melissa Ryder is the head majorette. Steve Hamilton is a color guard sergeant. Matt Fry is the band president. Today's show will feature Let's Break Bread Together with Matt Fry and Eric Morris on the trumpet solos, a gospel medley with a mellophone solo by Don Johnson, Rockin' Robin featuring the majorettes, St. Thomas featuring the percussion section, and they will close with American Spirit, highlighted their all-male color guard, which has won more than 100 awards in competition. In May, they'll be performing in Atlanta, Georgia, in various festivals. And now, without further ado, we'll turn it over to Tom Eister and the West York Bulldog Band. was the West York Bulldog Band, again under the direction of Tom Meister. Great show, very well received by the Bethlehem Catholic throng here. And that'll conclude the halftime show. We'll go down on the field live with Dan Mowdy.
Thank you, Bill. Right now I'm with John Shearer, the athletic director of West York Area High School. And a lot of folks back home, John, aren't real certain what West York is all about. Apparently, you've got quite a football program here.
We do. We have. It's been a tradition at West York. Since the late 60s, we've had some really good football teams. We had 2 undefeated seasons back in the late 60s. It's always been a big tradition at West York.
Now, this year, you guys are ranked 6th in the state AA poll. The other top 3 teams have been in the quarterfinals, or rather semifinals here today. Now, what about West York? You must have had to beat an awfully good team to get here.
We knocked off 2 good teams, and you know, we're really proud to be here because I think our kids played really well, and it's a testament to high school kids. You never know what's going to happen, and we're really proud of them.
Now, we've seen the battle of the trenches going on here in the first half. It's still a very close ball game, 9-0. What can we look forward to from West York in the second half?
Well, as you know, Russell Stoner's our big running back, and we also have another good back in Steve Grolhart there. If we can get a little bit of field position, maybe we can get this football moving down the field. So we're going to be hanging in there. We'll be all right.
Now, you've been a track coach for 15 years. What other sports at West York are excellent, like the football program?
Well, we've always had good basketball there, too. We've been to districts and inter-district play several times. So it's a good sports school. We really enjoy it.
Well, you're sure proving it here today. Thanks, John Shearer, athletic director at West York Area High School. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with the second half.
Welcome to the Rosemont Restaurant and Hollywood Lounge, the Lehigh Valley's premier restaurant and sparkling evening club. The Rosemont standard of excellence begins with a reverence for well-prepared foods, selecting only the finest meats, the freshest fruits and vegetables, and individually preparing each dish with artistry and infinite care. The Rosemont's friendly, elegant atmosphere combines comfort with sophistication, and our service will delight you. The Rosemont, 1913 West Broad Street in Bethlehem.
Nissan. Nissan's the name. Rebates the game. Now, for the first time ever, your quality Nissan dealers are offering up to $1,000 in factory rebates on select new Nissan cars and trucks, plus low lease payments of only $299 a month on the awesome 300ZX. Save like never before on over 1,000 new Nissan cars and trucks in stock. And remember, Nissan prices start at $59.95. Nissan. Rebates now at your quality Nissan dealer.
It seems you hear a lot about emergencies, ambulances, and police cars, but you can't forget about us regular folks. Our vehicles have transmission problems too. When my car left me stranded, I called Cotman and they towed me in. Then they inspected my transmission, explained the problem to me, and told me exactly what it would cost to get it fixed. Yeah, even us regular guys have someone we can depend on to keep us rolling along.
He's my Cotman man, and he keeps me rolling along.
See Paul at Cotman, MacArthur Road, Whitehall.
Once again, everybody, I'm Johnny Daly, along with Mike Zambelli, Dan Mowdy, and Bill Bickel, all set to bring you live the second half. Class AA, PIAA, Eastern State Championship football game from Albright College in Reading. For the first half stats, let's go over to Mike Zambelli. Mike?
Okay, if we look over towards West York, first of all, first downs were kind of even in that first half. West York had 6 yards rushing, 65. Passing stats, they completed just 1 of 6. And had 1 interception for only 11 yards. And again, a lot of that has to do with the poor field position, which we'll talk about in a minute. Total yards then in the first half were 76 yards. They lost no fumbles. They had a punt 2 times for an average of 27.5 yards a kick. They were penalized 2 times for 20 yards. Their leading rusher was Russ Stoner. 7 carries for 30 yards. They need more production out of him. For Bethlehem Catholic, 7 first downs, 150 yards rushing, and that's where they really took control in that second quarter. 2 of 6 passing, 2 interceptions, really not critical, 28 total yards passing. Total yards first half, 178. Did not have to punt, and that's a key stat also, I think, in the first half. They had the best of the field position. 4 penalties for 30 yards hurt them there. Isello, the leading rusher, 9 carries for 90 yards. Marsh, 10 carries for 62 yards.
All right, before the second half kickoff, I have a notice for current Service Electric Cable TV subscribers. Listen to this great holiday special. Add any new service, additional connection, FM stereo tap or pay service, HBO, Cinemax, Prism, or the Disney Channel, or any combination. You pay for 3 months and you receive 3 months free, plus 3 pay-per-view movies free upon request. Call 865-6488 or toll-free 1-800-232-9100 for complete information on Service Electric's holiday cable TV offer. All right, 9-0, Bethlehem Catholic leading. As we get ready to start the second half of the ball game, and the Bulldogs will receive to start the second half as Russ Stoner, the 5'10", 170-pound senior, drops back deep on his own 7-yard line. There's Russ. 130 points this season. A good one. Tony Iazella will be kicking off for the Golden Hawks. Goes back about 8 yards, has a little stutter step around the 4. Great afternoon for football.
Interesting here, Bethlehem Catholic, which won the toss at the beginning of the game. Now they kick off in the second half. They've decided to have the wind in their favor for this third quarter.
Stoner takes it on the 3. Right up the center of the field. Has an alley in it, but he's dropped as he gets up to the 24-yard line. And that's where West York Area High School will take over 1st and 10. Tackle made by Damian Van Such, a 5'8", 180-pound senior for the Golden Hawks.
There's a 21-yard return there and a critical one. Now West York going into the wind here in this third quarter. Let's talk about the possessions in that first half. Well, let's watch this play, and then we'll go over the possessions in that first half.
Heinhold goes wide to the left. Mike Fall and Stoner, the split backs. Brillhart in a slot. Hand off to Stoner. Stoner goes over left tackle and gets up to about the 28-yard line, where he's brought down by Bob Stem of the Golden Hawks. Going into this ball game, Stem had 86 tackles, despite missing a couple of games because of a knee injury. Gain of 3 on a play, 2nd down and 7. Mike Fall now on the right wing, as Brillhart and Stoner are the split backs. Here comes Brillhart in motion. Stoner takes the handoff, tries to go over right tackle, wrapped up almost immediately by Tony Spagnola, the nose guard for Bethlehem Catholic High School.
In that first half, John, Bethlehem Catholic really the best of the field position. Let's look at West York, where they took over possession on their own 20, 15, 13, 8, and then the 37. They only got into Bethlehem Catholic territory just one time, and that was when they were able to get to the 47 and had some penalties and then threw the interception.
All right, 3rd down and 5. Fall and Stoner switch, and now Brillhart goes into a setback position. Schweitzer back to pass, looks, runs left. Can he make the turn? Has a blocker in front of him, but he's forced out of bounds across the way on the 35-yard line by Bob Stem. No quarterback.
I think all they did there, John, might have been change the number. I don't have a number 7 in the program.
I'm sure that was Schweitzer.
Yeah, that's still Schweitzer. He might have ripped his jersey or something. You see the tail end of the play right there is good pursuit by the Bethlehem Catholic defensively. Get back to those possessions. Bethlehem Catholic, on the other hand, all of their possessions right around midfield except for the opening kickoff where they had it on their own 27.
They got the 1st down and 10. Schweitzer back to pass again. Pressure. Throws it right up the middle. Is deflected by one of the up men, one of the big men, and that was Bob Stem, who deflected the ball. Goes down incomplete. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. Also good coverage that time by Rob Carpenter, the 6', 200-pound senior who made the Big 33 checklist a week ago.
Matt Brady from his linebacker position, also excellent drop there as he was around the ball also. And again, good coverage by that secondary, and a lot of it coming from those inside linebackers who are getting good depth to their drops.
Kepner and Fall split wide to the right. Fall in a slot. Schweitzer back, a little play action, looks. Comes to the near sideline, decides to keep, and is forced out of bounds. Officials spot the ball on a 41-yard line. John Zook came over to make the hit from his strong safety position.
Bob Stem also over there in pursuit from his nose guard position there. You get a look at number 7 now is Schweitzer. He changed jersey. He wore number 22 in that first half.
All right, third quarter, 10-11 remaining here in this third period. Bethlehem Catholic leading 9-0. Don't forget the winner of this one will be out at Altoona 1 week from today, meeting the best from the West. Stoner and Fall, the split backs. And now Stoner comes on the right wing. Schweitzer back to pass, looks, gets it up there, deflected and caught on a tip by Stoner. And he breaks the tackle and gets up to the 49-yard line. Jim Noblock getting credit for the tackle. Boy, I talked about what an outstanding athlete the Stoner is, and there was a good example.
Watch here as you will see Schweitzer now roll to his right as he gets a great block from number 34, Fall. That gives him a little bit more time. You see the completion. Watch it bounce and good concentration. Pulls it in. Boy, that Stoner is a good athlete. And then we'll see the Golden Hawk defense react to the completed pass.
8th first down for West York. Stoner once again carrying, gets over the midfield stripe in the Bethlehem Catholic territory. Hit by Bob Stem, knocks him down.
We talked how Stoner only had 30 yards and 7 carries in that first half, and you know that West York wants to get him more involved. You don't want to be playing in a big football game like this and not have your best player out there showcasing his talents and doing what he does best.
2nd down and 6 for the Bulldogs. They trail 9-0. Clock running at 9:15 remaining here in the third period. Brillhart in motion. Schweitzer back to pass. Play action. Throws the ball. It's completed to Stoner. Stoner breaks one tackle and gets down to the Golden Hawk 41. Tackle finally made by John Mattis. Came up from his free safety position to make the tackle. And that is the 9th first down.
To watch it here, it's just a simple pass underneath the defense there. And again, ample time there for Schweitzer. Well, he gets a little pressure there, but a good catch now by Stoner underneath the defense, and then try and let him run for a couple extra yards. And I got to believe that Coach Terry Bupp made a couple adjustments in there at halftime.
All right, Bulldogs trailing 9-0, but now on a move. They have the ball at the Golden Hawk 41-yard line. Open field to the left. Stoner off left tackle. Breaks a tackle there. Breaks another. Has some running room. Has to get by Stem. He gets a good block. The Stem is knocked down. And Stoner goes into the end zone for the score. But hold it. There's a penalty marker down all the way up on the 37-yard line. Hang on. It's going to be against the Bulldogs.
It's going to take back an excellent effort by Stoner, and he got a great block downfield by Steve Brillhart. But it's all going to go for naught as there's going to be a call, and we'll watch it marked off, and we'll wait for the official's call.
Offense!
I'll tell you something. Stoner may be the big gun on this team, but you can't overlook this guy, Steve Brillhart.
I'll tell you, he really did. He's the guy downfield, some 20, 30 yards downfield, was still active and banging heads. He's the guy who made that key block, and then Stoner cut back into the end zone, but it's going to be brought back here on the clipping penalty.
Ball is spotted on a Bulldog 49-yard line.
And the Hawks really dodged the bullet there.
Yes, they did. Got these lampposts right on the football field like they do over at the Bethlehem School District Stadium. Right in our way. There goes Fall in motion. Hand off to Brillhart. Steve off right tackle over the midfield stripe. Down to the Golden Hawk 49. Corey's brought down. There's 44 in there, along with Tony Iazello. 44 is Zook, and Rob Carpenter underneath the pile for the Golden Hawks. Second down and 25.
We'll see now what that does to the Golden Hawk defense there, see if they stiffen up there. That was excellent line blocking on that touchdown run, and we'll see how it affects West York, who has really had things not really go their way thus far this afternoon.
Hope you're enjoying this telecast live, and don't forget we'll have replay tonight on Super 2 Sports. Schweitzer pitches back to Stoner. Russ comes from near sideline and has an ankle tackle and is down on the 45-yard line by John Zuck, along with Tom Weedle.
That's a great effort by Zook there as he was down on the ground. There was a good block. Let's see if we catch it as we watch the play here. It's again the option by York. You see the pitch. Zook is actually down there. He gets back up and makes an ankle tackle there. Look at him hanging on there. That's a good job.
Dragging him with him. Third down and 16. Bethlehem Catholic leading 9-0 with 7:15 remaining in the third period. Heinhold goes wide to the left. Brillhart is in the left slot. Fall and Stoner on a split backs. Schweitzer back to pass. Play action. Being chased. Gets the pass away to Stoner. It's complete. Down to the 40-yard line. Bob Stem making the big hit on Stoner. Stoner a little slow getting up, but he's okay. There he is, number 24.
Going to be well short of the first down. It's going to bring up fourth and about 9 or 10. And again, West York, as you get a look at Stoner, they're a little fatigued after that long touchdown run that was called back. But again, West York working underneath the zone right now and completing the passes, and then just allowing the backs of the receivers to try and break a tackle and maybe advance it another 10 or 15 yards.
Nothing new for Stoner. He caught 19 passes for 270 yards during the season. Stoner back in punt formation on his own 48. Gets the kick, angles for the corner. Hits on about the 16-yard line and will go out of bounds on the Golden Hawk 11. And Bethlehem Catholic leading in the ball game 9-0 will take over 1st and 10.
Oh, what a good kick by Stoner there as we take a look at it. 29 yards and no return, but the length is not the key thing. It pins Bethlehem Catholic right around, well, they're going to call it the 11-yard line, but a good kick angled towards that corner and no return.
Don't forget, tell your friends we'll have the ball game, the replay tonight at 9 on Super 2. Gogler wide to the left. Mattis hands off to Iazello. Tony over right tackle. First man to hit him was Fall and Dana Brent. Mike Fall making the initial hit. And now Stoner waves over to the West York fan and says, come on, let's go. Let's get some help from you people.
This is a big defensive series for them. There's 5:53 to play here in the third quarter. This is the first Bethlehem Catholic possession, and West York has just dominated this third quarter. They have no points to show for it. They need to shut Bethlehem Catholic down if they're going to get back in this football game.
Denzing and Rapp wide to the left. Mattis. Oh, was Marsh ever hit? Behind the line of scrimmage, back on the 11-yard line by Dan Fieser, the 5'10", 165-pound senior. Right inside linebacker. That'll bring up a third down and 9.
We talked how critical field position was in the first half, where York Catholic was, or West York was not able to do what they wanted to do offensively. Now Bethlehem Catholic on their own 10. It takes away a lot of your offensive game plan.
Third down and 9. Denzing and Gog again wide to the left, and now the 12th man is in it for the Bulldogs. Mattis breaks the tackle. Mattis comes to the near sideline and is tripped up on the 16-yard line by Russ Stoner. Who else?
And Stoner saved the first down there as he was the only one around there, as Mattis did an excellent job, and we've seen him time and time again. Let's take a look at it. There is nobody but John Mattis and Russ Stoner here in the open field now, and Mattis tries to cut back against the grain, and two good athletes going against it right here, and just an ankle tackle right there prevented the first down.
And Bethlehem Catholic, their first punt of the day. Iazello's back on his own 2-yard line. Stoner the deep man. Back in his own 45. Good pass from center. Iazello gets the kick away, and it's a good one. Taken on the 46-yard line by Brillhart. Brillhart in the Bethlehem Catholic territory on a Golden Hawk 48, and that's where the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10. 4:19 remaining in the third period. Bethlehem Catholic leading 9-0. 38-yard punt with a 6-yard return. There's Brillhart, number 20. There's Coach Terry Buff. And here are the Bulldogs. 1st and 10 on a Golden Hawk 48. Long count. Schweitzer keeps, carries, fumbles. Bethlehem Catholic recovers on their own 46. Who recovered that ball? Looked like number 70. If it was, it would be Tom Peruso. So the Hawks come up with a big fumble recovery. The ball on their own 45-yard line. 1st and 10.
One of the things, let's watch it. Watch the way Schweitzer's carrying the football. Look at the way it's out there. Now he just loses the handle on it. We'll see who comes up with a loose ball there. Number 70, Peruso, was there, but someone else came up with that recovery.
Jim Doblock made a hit. He got in the action. Eric Marsh over right tackle up to the 48-yard line. A gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Again, one of the things about running that option, when you run that option, you have to hold that football out away from your body, and arms are flying and legs are kicking, and sometimes that ball pops free, and an opportunistic Golden Hawk defense comes up with a big turnover. It looked like the tide was swinging a little bit, or momentum into West York's favor there.
Seems like they quieted down Mark Nubb a little bit defensively, Mike. First half, he was in just about all the action. Must be double teaming on him. There's Bethlehem Catholic, Eric Marsh, down to the Bulldog 40-yard line.
Inside Big Dog territory to the 46-yard.
Watch here, I talked about how these two young men block for one another. Look at number 32, Izello, with the lead block. Boy, that's a good block, and then Marsh just cuts it back inside. These two complement one another very well.
That block, Carpenter was one of the guys opening up that hole, too. Rob, a 6-foot, 200-pound senior. Marsh again over right tackle, has running room. He's in the secondary. Cuts inside, he's down at the 30. Tackle made by Andy Kepner. Another first down. 8th one for the Golden Hawks. They lead 9-0.
You heard in the interview with Bob Stem at halftime, he says we're going to stop doing the things that we don't do that often and just start taking it to him, and that's what he's doing here offensively. It's just hard running right and left, and the line is really getting the job done right now.
Izello hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped. No gain on the play. Tackle made by Dan Fieser of the Bulldogs. Bring up a second. They gave him about a half yard. Let's call it 2nd down and 9. There's a ball spotted on a 29-yard line. Bulldog territory.
And we talk about momentum, and that fumble recovery by Bethlehem Catholic defense really has their team now back with the momentum on their side.
Mattis back to pass. He's looking for Rapp. Evades one would-be tackler, and he's going to have to eat it. No, he breaks the tackle and gets down to the 26-yard line. Should have been hit for a loss that time.
Again, showing his athletic ability to work his way out of that hole, and really, let's take a look at it here. He gets some people off balance there, but really nowhere to go. Good coverage in the secondary. Nobody open downfield, and Mattis has to take, a short gain on that play.
All right, 3rd down and 7. Open field to the right. Benzing goes wide to the right. Rich Gogler to the left. Hand off to Izello. Tony's down at the 22-yard line. Short of the first down, however.
It's going to bring up about 4th and 2 now, and I think Coach Stem just looked at how many yards he had to go, which was a total of 7, and figured with the people that I have the confidence them to pick it up on 2 running plays, and I think they are going to go for it here on 4th down.
All right, 4th down and 2. Again, it's open field to the right with Benzing on the right wing. Mattis hands off to Izello. He appears to be short of the first down, depending on the spot, as Russ Stoner came up from his free safety position to make the hit. They hold, and West York Area High School will take over 1st and 10.
Boy, a big defensive play by Stoner. Again, now his second here of this second half is, there was a hole there, and he just came up and closed it from that safety position and just shut it down. And Bethlehem Catholic comes up about a yard short of the first down.
Officials spot the ball on the York 21-yard line. Heinold splitting wide to the right. Stoner and Mike Fowler, the split backs. Schweitzer to Stoner. Off left tackle, breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, is running room, and is finally brought down from behind, off on the 35-yard line. More than enough yardage for the first down for the Bulldogs.
Well, you get a look at Stoner there, and he did break 3 tackles on this run. He had a couple arms draped around him right at the line of scrimmage, but his strong legs got him out of that, and a big first down for West York now on the move.
He could play Division I.
He looks like
1AA, easy.
Sure does. Looks like he has the strength and the speed to do it.
6 seconds and ticking remaining here in the 3rd period. It looks like Schweitzer's going to wait and take the count, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. Bethlehem Catholic 9, West York Area High School nothing. We'll be right back.
how about some freshly sliced cold cuts, or maybe seafood and crabs, steak and cheese? I make every Subway sandwich fresh.
I can't make up my mind.
Hot from the oven, white or whole wheat. I bake them fresh.
I can't make up my mind.
Subway sandwich.
Or Subway salad.
We bake them fresh. We make them fresh. Everybody loves Subway subs.
I've made up my mind. Just give me the works.
Guaranteed Brakes, another Car Care Plus service of ABE Car Care Center.
We're proud to offer a lifetime warranty on the mighty brakes we sell.
That's right. We may be locally owned and operated, but we can now offer a nationwide brake warranty on all American cars.
Stop by for a free brake inspection now.
Car Care Plus means quality brakes, mufflers, and shocks, state and emission inspections. Car Care Plus only at ABE Car Care Centers.
With the overwhelming number of automotive choices today, why do people choose the Volkswagen Jetta?
Sharp, it's clean, it's well engineered. I'm going to keep the car for 4 years and then...
All right, I'm Johnny Dady, along with Mike Zambelli, Dan Mowdy, and Bill Bickle, all set to bring you the final 12 minutes of this Class AA, PIAA Eastern Championship football game from Albright College, Reading. There's the Hawk skipper, Bob Stem. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball on their own 35-yard line. Open field to the right. Mike Fall now on a right wing. Schweitzer back to pass. Play action. Looks. Has running room. Pumps again. And is forced out of bounds across the way by John Zook, with Bob Stem trailing the play.
Schweitzer tried to fake like he was going to throw it, and Stem had nothing of it. He didn't leave his feet and forced him out of bounds, but not before Schweitzer was able to pick up about 5 yards. You want to talk about the change in momentum. The third quarter, West York had 4 first downs to just 1 for Bethlehem Catholic. Yards rushing were 39 each, but the passing game came in for West York. They picked up 20. They outscored yardage there 59-39 in that third quarter for West York.
Second down and 5 for the Bulldogs. Here's Schweitzer again. This time decides to keep. There's a penalty marker down, and coming up was Matt Brady to knock Schweitzer down inside the 40-yard line along with Tom Weedle. But a penalty marker, a clip against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it was obvious, and for the most part, West York has been doing a pretty good job on the ends of the defense for Bethlehem Catholic, but it was obvious there was a crackback block there, and definitely from the back it was on number 44, John Zook, as he got clipped from behind.
This is a fast football game. Let's watch it.
Let's take a look at it. You'll see number 28 for West York come into your picture at Sean Heinold. He comes from there. You see it right there, and that's the clip that was called. He just ran by it, and an excellent call by the officials.
And that moves the ball all the way back to the Bulldog 25-yard line. Second down and 25. Bethlehem Catholic leading 9-0. 11:40 remaining here in the fourth period. There's the Hawks. Schweitzer, Marcus drops straight back this time. Pumps, looks right down the middle. Pass is completed to Brillhart. Steve goes wide right. Gets one block. Blind die account. Upends and knocks him down across the way, but not until he gets in Bethlehem Catholic territory. Good first down, a big first down for the Bulldogs from West York Area High School.
Brillhart has really been sensational here defensively, now doing a little bit offensively. You see Schweitzer had his eye coming a crossing pattern there. You watch the block by number 9 coming into your screen right there. That's Andy Kempner there, who now gets kicked out of bounds. It's a 29-yard pass play there for West York.
Ball on the Hawk, 46-yard line. Schweitzer, quarterback keeper play, gets down to the 42-yard line. Picks up a couple yards on a play, actually about 4, and it'll be second down and 6.
You know, I really have to believe that offensively Terry Bupp there for West York is looking to throw that ball underneath. He probably spotted that the Golden Hawks defensively are dropping back a little deep, because all of his passing thus far in this second half have been under the coverage or underneath that zone, and then allowing his receivers to run for the extra yardage.
All right, Stoner in the right slot this time. Kepner wide right. Brillhart on the left wing. Schweitzer back to pass. The rush is on. The pass is just lobbed up there, blocked, I believe, behind the light standard once again, as Tony Spagnola put the pressure on Schweitzer.
Well, it was a blitzing situation there as the Golden Hawks came with their linebackers. It looked like for a second West York was going to be able to hold them out, but Spagnola was able to get in there and force that deflection or wobbly pass.
Fine hole back in the lineup for the Bulldogs, and here he comes on the right of your screen. Out of your picture, you see his shadow. All right, Willard down on the left wing. Schweitzer, play action, look out, being chased, has to eat it at the midfield stripe as number 17, Caruso, having one of his finest games of his career, comes up with a big hit. The ball is shade inside the Bulldog side of the midfield stripe.
Let's take a look at it. Peruso is going to come up with his second quarterback sack of the afternoon and the third for the Hawk defense. Excellent job of contain as he just did not allow Schweitzer to get outside and then came up with the sack.
Oh, he leveled them, didn't he? That
Sure
brings
did.
up a 4th down and 20, and Stoner back in punt formation on his own 37. Good pass from center, gets the kick away. Oh, a beautiful spiral. That thing, whoa, into the end zone on a fly, almost out of the stadium. Automatic touchback, and Bethlehem Catholic leading 9-0. We'll take over 1st and 10 on their own 20.
Boy, Stoner hit that punt 50 yards in the air, and it traveled some into the end zone. And I'll tell you, he hit it and just stood there and watched it. He knew how good he caught it, and it turned over, and it was a perfect spiral. That's an excellent punt. He's quite an athlete.
Mike, I'd like to say thanks to Berg's Cable TV, Keystone Cable TV, and Kutztown University for their help in our live microwave feed to Allentown. All right, Mattis to Eric Marsh. Eric gets up to the 25-yard line. Gain of 5 on a play. Mark Knob in on a stop for the Bulldogs, along with Dan Fieser.
Well, I'm sure we're going to see Bethlehem Catholic do what they do best. I think we're going to see Isello carrying the football a good majority of the time and just relying on that big offensive line to move people out and control the football from this point in. There's just 9:18 to play in the 4th quarter.
Mike Rapp wide to the right, Benzing to the left. Marsh over left tackle, breaks one tackle, and is tripped up from behind, and a good tackle by Andy Kepner, who has to bring him down from behind, but not until Marsh, the young sophomore, picks up enough yardage for the 1st down. The 9th one in the ball game for Bethlehem Catholic, and they lead 9-0 with 9:06 remaining in the ball game. Boy, the Nines are wild, aren't they?
Yes, they sure are. Excellent inside running that time by Marsh. Just good, hard running with his shoulders squared to the goal line and really doing the job. Isello now 13 carries, 100 yards, and Marsh 16 carries for 100 yards.
Marsh, again, over left tackle. Gets up to the 39-yard line. Gain on a play, the tackle made by Doug Lynch. Also, our thanks to Jeff Kelly, who helped supervise today's live telecast microwave feed, and Jim Davidic for his assistance for the feed from our Bethlehem site. Also, thanks to the PIAA Executive Director, Dr. Russell Werner, Jim Gano, Athletic Director, Reading High School, and Game Manager, Ed Brunner, along with the Albright Athletic Department, Maintenance, and Ground Crew. Thank you, gentlemen. From Super 2. Marsh again, breaks tackle. He's over the midfield stripe and into Bulldog territory as Eric picks up another 1st down, the 10th one for Bethlehem Catholic.
Boy, your dream is to get 2 backs in your backfield running for 100 yards in the same game. Bethlehem Catholic has done that. There's still time. Look at that gaping hole in the middle there. Lead blocked by number 76. Scott Sauer there and really doing the job offensively. Gaping hole there in the middle, and Isello and they know what to do with it when those holes are there.
All right, Bensy on the right wing. 9-0, the Hawks leading. 7:45 and running remaining. Iazello gets down to about the 47-yard line, where Joe Contino, the 5'10", 240-pound senior defensive right tackle, with Mark Knob, team up to make the tackle. Rapp in the lineup. Golden Hawks, Bob Stem, 6 years head coach. Last year he was 9-2 in East Penn League and 9-3 overall, after suffering that District 11 AA championship game to Paul Foreman, Slaters, and Bangor. Mattis to Marsh. Marsh, little stutter step, a little zig, side, and he's down to the 30. Another 1st down. Oh, they're moving now. Mike Fall has to come up from his defensive right end position to make the stop.
Boy, and you can bet they're having fun now. This time, look at the lead block again there. Number 32, Izello, just enough to get the defensive end out of position. And now Marsh, you can bet those two young men are having a lot of fun out there playing football right now.
11 first down for Bethlehem Catholic. They lead 9-0. Time important right now, and the Hawks are grinding it out. Izello over right tackle. Stopped inside the 30. Forward progress will be spot on at 29.
Marsh now 19 rushes for 134 yards, and I mentioned Isello over that 100-yard mark also, and a lot of credit to that offensive front.
Let me shake up the West York football fans when I announce the coaching staff at Bethlehem Catholic. Here they are, folks. Bob Stem, the head coach. Assistants, count them: Dale Carpenter, Lou Ferrani, George Glick, Ed Hudak, Danny Kendra, Tom Klepsice, Jeff Marsh, Rich Mazza, Joe McShane, Steve Sampson, Billy Shung, Frank Sickle, Joe Juliana, Bob Williams, and a trainer, Kevin Culligan. But I'll tell you, less than half of them are paid assistants. The rest are volunteers, but with excellent credentials.
Well, they certainly do. There's a lot of, you mentioned Dan Kendra. There's a young man who's got an awful, he's familiar with undefeated high school football teams. As Central Catholic was an undefeated team when he was a senior there.
How about Eddie Hudak? Played national championship teams at Notre Dame as an offensive tackle. Fumble recovered by Eric Marsh. Ball spot inside the 25 on a 24, and that'll bring up a third down and about 4.
Let's watch it here. Marsh takes a good hit on the football. I think someone, look at that, yep, the hat right on the football there, and then the ball comes loose. And I believe it's Diacount, who sneaks in there. I'm not sure. I didn't get the number on it.
Stoner's the guy who made the hit. Third down. And about 4. Izello over right tackle, driven all the way back to the 25. Forward progress, spotted on the 23. Russ Stoner came up to make the hit with Lynch.
You know, if I'm here and I'm scouting Bethlehem Catholic here today, the one thing that I want to tell my football team is I don't want to fall behind them, because they can certainly control that line of scrimmage and grind it out. This drive has not featured any passing, and it has moved right along nicely, and time now under 5 minutes, and that's exactly what you wanted out of a championship drive.
All right, Mike Rapp into the lineup, replacing Rich Gauger for the Golden Hawks. Mattis, quarterback keeper play. He's inside the 20. He has enough yardage for the first down. Quarterback keeper by John Mattis. He's been all-star quarterback. 12th first down for the Hawks. But more importantly, they lead 9-0.
Let's watch it here. This might have been an audible, as it looked like the defensive front, the splits were pretty wide, and I'm sure Coach Stem has enough confidence in Mattis to make a call like that. Very possible could have been an audible and maybe a quick count catch the defense off guard.
Call it what you want. It was a first,
so first down is right.
Benzing and Gauger a good wide to the left. Mattis. Izello. Fumble. Big pile up on the 15. But it looks like Izello may have recovered his own fumble for a moment. It appeared that the Bulldogs were on top of it. And the first man to have a shot at it was Collier.
Well, even more important right now than points is to hang on to that football. And again, you know West York's going to be tackling the ball. Number 50, is it, who comes in, or is it Stem? It looked like Bob Stem came in there and made the fumble recovery.
Yeah, Stem went right over Izello and caught and wrapped it up.
Second break for the Hawks in this drive on a fumble.
Mattis to Marsh. Hit and drop behind the line of scrimmage. Back around the 16-yard line by Doug Lynch, who had 20 solo tackles going into this game, 39 assists, and 2 sacks. How bad is that?
Quality football team. They just didn't get the big turning point in this football game really came on that 41-yard touchdown run by Stoner that was called back in that third quarter. And even then, West York has hung on gamely here to still only trail 9-0. You're looking at John Madison. I got to believe that you look at those little footballs on his helmet there. They're symbolic of either touchdowns or maybe interceptions. It's a good thing the season's coming to an end. He doesn't have any more room for balls on there.
3rd down and 8. There's Bob Stem. Former All-American at Syracuse, played in a couple bowl games with the Orange Men. Mattis, quarterback keeper, breaks one tackle, puts his head down, and he gets down to the 14, and that is all, where Matt Glennon wraps him up. I thought I'd see Glennon going out for more passes today. I don't think they threw it to him once.
Bethlehem Catholic has not thrown a pass in this second half, and I went over quarter-by-quarter statistics, and this has really been a game that is symbolic of their season. They seem to get out in front, they mix it up with pass and run, and then they have the confidence in that offensive line. And this is a really time-consuming drive they're putting together in what I would call a championship drive. When you have a 9-0 lead, the other team can't score if you don't give up the football. 4th down on a short 4. Here comes Iazello. Pass. It's completed. Iazello. Touchdown. Boy, oh boy, was he ever close to this sideline. Not a bounce marker. But he tight-roped it, made a turn, and went into the end zone standing up. And this is Tony Iazello Day as he picks up his second touchdown. Also booted the field goal to give the Hawks a 15-0 lead with 2:17 remaining in the ball game. Well, there's the Bethlehem Catholic crowd now striking up a note, and we get the replay on there. Mattis really makes a great fake into the line of scrimmage and fakes out the defensive end. Is here Coach Stem now again setting up on that extra point. Let's watch the play. Watch Mattis. Watch the fake. Watch number 66 in white get sucked inside. You just saw him. That allows him to get all the time there in the world. Finds Iazello along the sidelines, just takes it off his pad there, and scoots into the end zone for the Becca High touchdown. Don't forget, the winner of this ball game will meet the best from the West next Saturday afternoon, Altoona. Scoring drive in the 4th quarter now comes at 2:17 left to play. Play consumed 14 plays, 13 on the ground, 1 in the air. The touchdown pass, 80 yards on the drive, and the pass was from Mattis to Iazello. 14 yards and a 15-0 Bethlehem Catholic lead. All right, the beat man for the Bulldogs is Russ Stoner back in his own 15-yard line. Tony Iazello will be kicking off for the Golden Hawks. Iazello, 6'1", 185-pound senior. His father is the wrestling coach at Bethlehem Catholic and has been honored as Wrestling Coach of the Year on several occasions by the PIAA. There's that little stutter step, boots it, kind of a squib kick. Oh, gets by Stoner. Look out. Stoner has to pick it up on about the 3, breaks a tackle, breaks another. Look at this. Look at this. He has a block in front of him and has to be brought down from behind. You talk about an athlete. He sucked in at Bethlehem guys. They were coming in. They saw him playing with the ball. They coasted, and he went right by him. It's exactly what he did. And even before that, that is him down hurt on the ground, I believe. I don't know whether he's got... I would have to... That's a Charlie horse. You can see him grabbing the back of the calf. Boy, and they are painful, and you got to know why he's had one. He's kicked off. He's run the kicks back. There you get a good look at him. He's a defensive player. He's really sold out here this afternoon. And John, you're right. He really did put a heck of a move on that defense there. You can see the pain he's in right there. Watch it. Watch it. You see him take the little step to the left, right in there, and then he's going to dart back outside. Boy, that's a quick move right there. It looked like he was going to go down. Yes, he did. Justin Morabito had to come up and grab him from behind. One player to beat, and I believe it was the kicker who slowed him down before Morabito was then able to catch him from behind. And there you see Stoner there, a little bit upset with himself that he didn't go to the distance. When he sees the replay on it, I think he's going to be quite satisfied with it. Morabito is the only freshman on the Bethlehem Catholic squad. 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. Bethlehem Catholic leading 15-0. They have the ball first and 10 on their own 38. Hey, I saw Lehigh last night. You and Bob broadcasted for XKW. They looked impressive to me. It's going to be an exciting year, John. It really is. There are a lot of young people over there, and if they can mature and grow with the program, there's no telling the potential that's over there. David Duke doing a fine job in his first year. A little swing pass forward, however, but Brillhart and Mike Fall were there, and it was low. It was down incomplete. Stops the clock at 1:53, and I guess you Bethlehem Catholic fans can start turning out the lights as Bethlehem Catholic calls a timeout with 1:53 remaining, and the Hawks leading 15-0.
So turn out the lights, Mabel. This one is all over.
I have a question. You really have relatives or friends in Altoona? You told Coach Stem that before the game?
I have friends.
Well, it looks like you're going there.
I have friends all over. And I want to say thanks again to Berks Cable TV, Keystone Cable TV, and Kutztown University for their help in our live microwave feed to Allentown. Also to Jeff Kelly, who helped supervise today's live telecast microwave feed, and Jim Davidic for his assistance for the feed from our Bethlehem site. And thanks to the PIAA Executive Director, Dr. Russell Werner, Jim Gano, Athletic Director, Reading High School, and Game Manager Ed Brunner, and also the Albright Athletic Department, maintenance, and a grounds crew for all of their help in making this telecast possible. From all of us at Super 2 Sports, we say thank you.
We want to keep our fingers crossed for maybe one more week of this nice weather that we've had. It certainly was a perfect football day for this, first time state championships being played here, high school level, and we want to keep that weather the way it is for just one more week and have another afternoon like this one next week.
We'll quickly go down to the field, and Dan Mowdy, I'm sure he'll catch Bob Stem. Schweitzer, Stoner, goes it, incomplete. Pass intended for the young man I talked about, Matt Glennon, who I thought they'd be throwing to earlier. They did not, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. There's Matt. He's a 6'1", 200-pound senior. Looked good in a DeLone Catholic game. Looks a little bigger than that.
One of the reasons that they weren't able to pass to him, John, is again that poor field position that they had most of that first half, and they were never really able to get into their passing game throughout this contest.
Schweitzer looks, bomb downfield. Whoa. I don't know if the Bethlehem Catholic defender, that was intended for Brillhart, covering on a play Jim Noblaw. I don't know if he lost in the sun or not.
The sun has dropped down a little bit. You can see the shadows when we get that shot of the goalpost. Let's take a look at it. It looks like because he tried to charge the football. You see Schweitzer step up into the pocket there and throw the pass over the middle, and then we'll see number 20 come in there. Yeah, it looks like he lost that in the sun. Yep, the sun has dropped down, and really the Bethlehem Catholic defense is looking right into it right now.
1:41 remaining in this ball game. 4th down and 10 for the Bulldogs of West York. This is their last hurrah. Stoner goes in motion. Schweitzer back to pass. Look out. He's hit. He's dropped. Penalty marker. Could be a face mask. Tom Weedle crashed through and grabbed him, and away he spun around. It appeared that there's a face mask, as immediately there were 2 penalty markers down.
Well, it's certainly inadvertent, as again there's arms and bodies flying inside there, and Weedle just officials there now talking about it right now, but you could definitely see Schweitzer's head go in the opposite direction or the wrong direction, and usually that leads to a face mask penalty. Let's wait for the call.
Super Crew game director Jim Kramer, Wayne Persing directing, and our entire camera crew did a heck of a job today, and especially Jenny Quinn on slow-mo. There it is.
Face mask, defense, 15 yards, 4th down.
15-yarder.
Yeah. Well, one of the nice things about high school, at least they don't single you out there. They don't give you the number. They just say it on the defense.
Should I
get up into that professional level, boy, they let you know who did it.
I told them who did it. 4th down and 1. Stoner has the 1st down and more. Gilbert puts on a good move and gets down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
Nice hole over that right side of the offense for West York there, and Stoner knows what to do with it, but looks like it's going to be a little bit too late now. 1:30 now. The clock stopped to move the chains. 15-0 Bethlehem Catholic lead, but Stoner's been impressive, John, as a couple of these kids from West York have, and we knew that you were able to go on a scouting report with the Bethlehem Catholic coaches last week and saw them. They're a quality football team.
That's a 12th first down for the Bulldogs, and they want a timeout with 1:30 remaining in the ball game, and they are trailing 15-0.
There's Coach Terry Button talking with his quarterback Schweitzer there, trying to go over some plans now, and I'm sure they're getting pretty deep now on that card. You see that card he's carrying would be his offensive game plan or his plays or his bag of tricks, and I'm sure he's down into page maybe, 13 or 14 right now, trying to get some points on the board.
All right, attention, current Service Electric Cable TV subscribers.
Deep on there.
Listen to this great holiday special. Add any new service, additional connection, FM stereo, tap, or pay service, HBO, Cinemax, Prism, or the Disney Channel, or any combination. You pay for 3 months and receive 3 months free, plus 3 pay-per-view movies free upon request. Call 865-6488 or toll free 1-800-232-9100 for complete information on Service Electric's holiday cable TV offer. You'll be so glad you did. Sir Robert.
Look at Coach Stem now after a talk there with his defense. I'll tell you, he's got to be pleased with his performance today. Working on a shutout, and I'm sure the defense wants to keep that intact.
I said he played in the Cotton Bowl, the Liberty Bowl, and North-South game when he was at Syracuse. Traveled around a little bit, didn't even have to join the Army. Schweitzer looks. There's a bomb downfield. Penalty marker down. I don't know where the interference would be. It looked like 3 Bethlehem Catholic players. Oh, there's one all the way up here, too.
I think he might
It looked like the only 3 Bethlehem Catholic players were in the area and nobody from West York.
Yeah, I think this call back here, I'm not sure if that one is, again, we got screened by the booth. This one back here might be over the line of scrimmage.
We have an illegal forward pass beyond the line of scrimmage on offense. We got defensive pass interference, offsetting penalty. We played it down.
I thought it was over the line of scrimmage, but I didn't want to call it.
Okay. You waited, huh? You took the safe way out.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Schweitzer was in a little bit of trouble there, and he just ran out of room. When you run those pockets where you roll them right and left, there's certain steps that you should have thrown the ball, and there was some pressure, and the receiver wasn't open, and Schweitzer had to go beyond that number of steps and just found himself over that line of scrimmage before he threw it.
Stoner and Mike Fall are the split backs. Grillhart split wide to the left. He can fly. Schweitzer looking left, swings it out to Stoner. He dropped it. He's down as an incomplete pass. It was forward, and it will bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Well, a frustrating time now for West York, who's really had a successful season and just trying to hang in there and get some points here in this Eastern Championship game, and just get something on the board to say that, you know, they were able to get into that end zone, which they did. They had that one called back, and the real critical part of this football game.
They got here. They had a great year. Get to the championship game. You know, everybody can't win it, but just getting here is an accomplishment. Schweitzer, right down the middle to Stoner. What a catch. Breaks the tackle. His knee may have touched the ground. The officials say no. He's down on a 20-yard line, and a penalty marker. There'll be a penalty marker for a late hit.
Tackle made by Jim Knobloch there, coming in for Bethlehem Catholic. Let's wait for the call. Acrobatic reception there by Stoner. Ball thrown behind him. He has to reach back and catch it, but gets the job done, and I think there's going to be some more yardage tacked onto this one.
Personal foul, defense, first down.
My personal thanks to John Shearer, the athletic director at West York Area High School, for all of his help. I had a pleasure meeting John last week at the West York and DeLone Catholic ball game. And John, I want to congratulate your school on a great year in your football team and say thanks to you for all your help. Hope we get together in the future. All right, time on the field, 1:07 remaining in this ball game. And when time is back in, the Bulldogs will have a 1st and 10 with the ball on the Bethlehem Catholic 10-yard line.
So that backside hip, that's coming across there.
Okay, we're listening into the strategy now going on there for West York against Coach Terry Buck.
We have cameras all over the place, don't we?
Boy, we sure do. Quite a job by the Super 2 crew. I believe West York has 1 timeout remaining, John. They'll have 1 more after this one here.
The winner of this one will be in Altoona next week. Bethlehem Catholic had a big pep rally last night open to the public. I understand there were about 350 people in the gym getting the blood flowing and getting ready for this ball game today. Sold about 600 tickets. Not bad.
They have an opportunity to be the first, and, you know, that's the name that the Bethlehem Catholic can go on the top of, you know, what hopefully will be a continued state championship series.
Heinhold and Mike Fall split wide to the right. Brillhart, Steve goes in motion. Schweitzer back to pass, goes it is intercepted by Bethlehem Catholic High School, and John Mattis leaps high up into the air, picks it off, is down on a 10-yard line, and that will surely do it with 59 seconds to go. There's Mattis.
Well, he's going to have to make room for another football error, too, because he has a touchdown pass and now an interception. I know that they give you a little rewards for doing those kind of things here. Let's watch it. Schweitzer's going to be rolling to his right and try and throw back into the grain, and that's a tough pass to make. See him try and throw back and really high and off the mark there, and Mattis plays it like the center fielder you're supposed to. Good return into the middle of the field, and now it's just a matter of Bethlehem Catholic running out the clock.
Met John's father last week. He's a super guy. He has a couple sporting goods stores. That's where John gets all those decals on his helmet.
Is that where all of those? I thought they were for scoring touchdowns.
All right, 35 seconds.
They took timeout.
West York
After the down.
takes a timeout with 35 seconds remaining.
Okay, again, just Bethlehem Catholic now to run the clock out. Again, Marsh and Izello over 100 yards rushing here, and Bethlehem Catholic really looks strong. You're taking a look at the cheerleaders down there celebrating what is going to be a victory in another 35 seconds, and a trip to Altoona and the disconsolate West York bench over there. But certainly when they reflect on the season, they'll realize what a great year that they had, and they will finish at 11-2 on the year. But really, that's quite a fine campaign.
Boy, Dan Mowdy ought to have a ball down there with interviews after this ball game. If he don't grab him, they'll grab him.
Well, I did have an eye on him earlier. I'm trying to spot. There he is. He's waving to us. He's got Jay Fox down there with him.
JJ.
Thorough, huh?
JJ's name is on a helmet. They ought to put him on the air. And there's Stem.
Coach Stem is upset right there on why the clock stopped before they had called that final timeout. But back in action now, just 35 seconds to kill.
Bethlehem Catholic, 12-0 on the season. Wrapping up the 13th consecutive win of the 1988 campaign to give more laurels to the small school, the AA school in Bethlehem. Started all with winning the city championship, then the East Penn Conference title, and then the District 3 title, and here they are, wrapping up the first. There's a happy Bob Stem, wrapping up the first Eastern AA championship. Bob played in 1963 for the Boston Patriots, and it's all over. Time runs out. Our congratulations. We salute the Golden Hawks from Bethlehem Catholic High School by virtue of their 15-0 victory over the Bulldogs from West York Area High.
Well, and again, in a quick recap here, let's look at statistically Bethlehem Catholic and West York. Both teams with 13 first downs. West York playing a fine second half. Yards rushing, big advantage for Bethlehem Catholic, 255 to 119 for West York. The passing statistics, Bethlehem Catholic just 3 of 7, but 1 for a touchdown for 42 yards. There were 2 interceptions. West York, 6 of 18, 2 interceptions and 78 yards. Total yards then for each team, Bethlehem Catholic 297, West York 197, most of that coming in the second half. West York lost 1 fumble, and it was a critical one too when it looked like things were maybe going to sway in their favor. Punts, West York 4 for an average of 30, Bethlehem Catholic 1 for 38. Bethlehem Catholic penalized 6 times for 55 yards, and West York 4 times for 50 yards.
Okay, we'll be back with Dan Mowdy and I believe Coach Bob Stem in just a moment. We're back here live at the Albright College Stadium in Reading, Pennsylvania. Ready for a wrap-up with Dan Mowdy as the Golden Hawks and Bethlehem Catholic High School wrap up the 13th consecutive win of the season to go unbeaten on the year. And with it went the PIAA Class AA Eastern Championship ball game. Mike?
Well, they really did what they had to do, John. They came out. We felt that the team that controlled that line of scrimmage was going to be the victor. They were the beneficiary maybe of a break or two here and there, but they also made their own breaks. They drove the ball well. That third quarter drive and into the fourth quarter that resulted in that Isello touchdown reception from Mattis was really, really classic, and that's what you want out of a championship team. They controlled the ball for 14 plays and wound up scoring a touchdown on an 80-yard drive when you have a precarious 9-0 lead, and really that's what championships are all about.
That was a good word, precarious, because this game, the outcome was never settled until the last touchdown by Isello, and it was Tony Isello Day as he racked up to 15 points for the Golden Hawks. There's the Bethlehem Catholic team and the cheerleaders huddled around their 15 coaches. See what we can pick up.
I tell you, they're not a bad football team. They played well, yes. You guys played super. Great job. Let's go.
Listen, we can get you for a minute.
Okay.
He said it all.
Yeah,
Great
sure
football team, but the Hawks played super, and that's the outcome of it. And there's Bob Stem, and there's Dan Mowdy. Let's go down to Dan. Dan?
Coach, 9-0 at the half, and like Becca High has done all season long, whenever it's a close game, whether you're up or down, you go to the running game, and it worked again today.
Yes, it did. You know, they kind of took our passing game was taken away by the wind. I don't think, it kind of affected our passing game, and, John Mattis did an outstanding job, though. Directing the club, he did a few crucial audibles there when it counted, and still did a nice job directing those guys offensively. And Tony ran hard, Marshy ran hard. We came off the ball. Everything's a good football team from here on. And anytime you win, you shut somebody out. You got to be happy. They're an excellent football team.
You had some trouble throwing the ball in the first half against the wind. You threw the ball once in the second half, I believe, and of course that was the pay dirt pitch over to Isello, and he came through for you.
Yes, it was a little counter off of what we've been running all day long, and I just saved it till the right moment. And I knew if we did it, it was going to be wide open. It was just a matter of when to pull the play off, and I thought it was a great time to do it.
As an opposing coach, you got to be impressed with Russ Stoner's ability.
I said that along. Russ Stoner's an outstanding athlete. And he plays well. I'll tell you, that's the kind of kid I want on my team. He's a great athlete. You can see he plays as hard as he can play. When a kid comes off the field and he's crying, you know that he's played his heart out for you. And I'll tell you what, they're the kind of kids I want on my team. They're great kids. And we haven't had that opportunity to be behind or to see what's going on. But the kids have played great all season long, and Altoona is like the Super Bowl for us. I just hope everybody in the eastern part of Pennsylvania supports us.
You mentioned Mattis. You can't be disappointed with the performance of Isello and Marsh today, both 100 yards plus.
Yeah, they both ran hard. They're tough kids, and they just keep coming at you. We just keep working harder and harder, and it's great. It's a great feeling. I've been here a few times before as a player and as a coach, but I'll tell you what, to do it here and do it, as big a magnitude that this is, it's unreal. Love it. I love it. It's a great feeling.
I don't want to cut your celebration short, but what about next week? You got Wilmington or Bellwood Antis? Any preference there?
No, it really doesn't matter. You know what? Both teams, I'm sure, are going to be great football teams. And we're going to have to play. We're going to have to play a good football game to beat them.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
All right, Danny. Thank you.
All right, Dan Mowdy and Bob Stemmen. You heard it all. You saw it here live from the Albright College Stadium here in Reading, Pennsylvania. Don't forget, you'll be able to watch the videotape replay tonight of this ball game, and again Monday night at 9:30, all on Super 2 Sports. So don't forget now, on behalf of our entire technical crew, Dan has another interview? Okay, let's go down to Dan Mowdy once again.
All right, John, and with Eric Marsh, who accumulated well over 100 yards today. You were the top rushing leader for Becca High. How does it feel to play such a big game and to have another one up ahead?
Well, it feels great. We had a great week of practice, and second half the line just opened up big holes, and it was a great feeling.
Now you've seen some pretty big defenders today in the team you just faced, West York. Tell me about how it was running against this squad.
Well, it was tough in the beginning, but after I think a lot of those guys go both ways, and I don't play defense, so when I come out, I'm probably fresher than them, especially going down the line, in the second half. And they probably got tired, and I was just fresh.
Your coach and everybody on your team, I'm sure, was impressed with the running skills of Russ Stoner, somebody to look up to.
Yes, he was a great runner. I mean, we knew that was coming in. We heard a lot about him, and he was good.
The present and the future of the Becca High team, sophomore Eric Marsh. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, Eric's father, Jeff Marsh, on the coaching staff at Bethlehem Catholic High School, was a scholar athlete back around 1965. And so it would be something, because I understand that Eric is an excellent student, and it would be something nice if he became a scholar athlete in a couple of years and be able to be the first father-son team to get it and be honored by the Lehigh Valley chapter of the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame. And that's about it on a great afternoon in Reading, Pennsylvania. On behalf of our statistician, Bill Bickle, Dan Mowry down on the field, my sidekick, Mike Zambelli, and the entire technical crew of Super 2 Sports, I'm Johnny Dady saying good afternoon and good night, where Bethlehem Catholic won the Eastern title with a 15-0 victory over West York Area High School. This has been a Super 2 Sports presentation.